Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pylon Show. I am Artosis, joined of course, not with In Control, so I guess not really of course, but kind of course. He is off on his way to Home Story Cup, which will be our main topic of the day, but I have some wonderful guests here. Katz, a long-time joiner of StarCraft talk shows. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, it's the best way I had. I'm like sitting here as we start trying to put my tweet out about it. So I'm actually a little bit scatterbrained. And of course, no regret. You've been on here a whole bunch of times. How are you doing?
Only one time with Jeff, though. All the times I've been here.
That's true. Well, here's what it is, right? Normally, the normal Pylon Show, what happens is Jeff and Matt.
Wait, Dan. Can I?
Everything. Huh.
Can I try my hand at what you're gonna say? You're gonna say yes. You invite no regret when Jeff is not here, and me also, because you want like people that talk a lot to cover up for the lack of Jeff.
It definitely helps that you guys talk a lot. Also, I feel like I'm closer friends with you guys, so you're more likely to say yes. Cool. So it makes it a lot easier on me, especially considering I can just text Jake and he'll be on and he'll talk forever. I have to cut him off to end the show, so it's perfect. We'll always have enough to go around.
I like to talk about StarCraft, so
yes, it turns out. So let me talk real quick about our sponsors. We'll get into this week in StarCraft and then talk about Home Story Cup, which is really the one thing going on basically for the rest of the year. All right. First off, guys, go to afkt.com. It's important. They make wonderful tea. I'm drinking some right now. It is delicious. It is loose leaf, so you do need a little tea ball thing that you put tea into. It's very easy to do. It's very healthy for you. It's very tasty. Do either of you guys drink tea?
I like I've tried the golden leaf from AFK. I like it a lot.
That's what I'm drinking right now. Golden leaf. It's delicious.
I don't have tea here, but I would like a shipment. Then I could just drink it and stuff.
Well,
yeah, I think I tried the golden leaf on the show's recommendation that everyone was like, oh yeah, the golden leaf is really good. So
well, go to afkt.com, no regret, and type in Pylon for 15% off. And there you go. All right. Also, of course, Matcherino. We're always working closely with them, as are so many things in the community. You can check that out, matcherino.com/Pylon Show. Not the Pylon Show, but Pylon Show. We have all sorts of cool stuff on there that you can check out. The code this week is Turkey because Happy Thanksgiving. I know you're Canadian, no regret, and your Thanksgiving's already over, but my Thanksgiving starts today. And
my Thanksgiving.
I'm
Peruvian. I guess in
America
it's not yet, but here in Korea it is Thursday.
Yeah, in Peru we don't do Thanksgiving, man. Thanksgiving is no, never.
Well, you live in America now, friend. So
I do.
Partake in some turkey. By the way, there are so little turkey. I just made like R and is the same word. That was weird. But there is so little turkey in Korea that basically turkeys come in one day and you have to get them that day, right? So day before yesterday, there were turkeys at Costco. And so we went yesterday morning to Costco. No turkeys left. There's no turkeys left in the whole country at all the Costcos, which is where you get turkey because turkey's just not something that Korean people eat very much. Right. So there's no fucking turkeys left. That's it. We didn't get a turkey this year. So sick.
That's
gonna have to call in favors to the army base and get one from there. But
nice. Damn. The army connections.
You gotta have a friend down there, or you're not gonna be able to get something like a turkey around Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Not that I care, as I don't eat it. Anyways, also check out our Patreon. We really appreciate the support of everyone on Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/The Pylon Show. The more you guys support, the better it is for everybody. For us making the show, and of course our guests. You guys are getting paid to be on here, so thank you for coming. And
I forgot about that.
Hell yeah, look at that. You both have been on so many times. We need to invite you a whole bunch to kind of make up for that. All right. Nice. So there we go. Those are our sponsors. You can also check out thepylonshow.com, and it will tell you when the next show is, show all the VODs and stuff like that. Anyways, we're going to run through this week in StarCraft real quick. Let's get that started. First up, all right, the OSC Matcherino Grand Celebratory Cup. We talked about this last week as well. Looks like we have gone through the group stage with Solar and Namshar winning their groups. Some pretty impressive results there from Namshar. Nice to see. And you can definitely check that out going forward. They are not done yet. It looks like Group C on the 23rd and Group D on the 25th. The OSC Battle of the Americas, NA versus LA champions. And the tournament has just started. It looks like you're actually in this, no regret. You're about to play special. How do you feel about your chances there?
I'm not very good.
No?
Turns out he's pretty good, and I'm not.
Yeah, no, I heard he's all right. But you are a Code S Zerg, so I believe that you can.
New patch.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. We'll see. I won my first set against.
Yeah, that's right. You beat someone named Eon.
I 13-12 every game.
That I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
All right. You can definitely check that out Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m. PST. Passion Craft Open Season 9 Finals. Looks like Zeomech beat Santa Sam. It's a very seasonal ID. 4-1 in the finals. And yeah, you can check that out at passioncraft@challenge.com. We have the ANZ Pro League Season 3, week number 2. It's continuing onwards with Zeph and Maynard. Of course, you can check that out, twitch.tv/blizzard_ANZ. It's a nice little team league from that Australia-New Zealand region. And very cool that they have such a nice little self-contained scene where Nathanius doesn't have to play them on the ladder. Up next, we have Ladder Heroes by Fear Dragon, who, of course, we had on last week. And every time we brought him up, he said he's going on vacation. So basically nothing's happening. But it looks like Ace and Rail are the ones destroying right now on the NA and U ladders specifically. And you can just check that out at ladderhero.es. The 2018 TESPA Collegiate Series. Hey, I see a picture of you here, Katz. What did you have to do with this?
I was just casting. It's really fun, and they usually work towards playoffs. Right now, there's a leaderboard down there for the individual league, and there's also a team league that is running in parallel. So it's pretty fun stuff.
That's cool. I'm really happy to see PrintF is #1 on the leaderboard. I'm becoming a big fan of that guy. We're gonna have to have him on the show.
He's great, yeah.
Yeah, I met him at BlizzCon. He's I want his spreadsheets. I want to learn from this guy. Brilliant guy.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't realize what we're talking about, PrintF is the GM Cannon Rusher. Everyone knows it's coming and can't stop it. So that's really, really cool. Okay. The Banshee Tournament. This was number 8 that occurred. We had Cubina defeat Andromeda 3-0 in the finals. This is something that's cast by Zombie Grub quite regularly, twitch.tv/Zombie Grub, and you can always look it up on Liquipedia under the Banshee Tournaments. It is an ongoing thing, funded a lot by donations and things like that, so go check that out.
I'm surprised Tilia didn't take this one. Oh, she's not in.
Yeah, did she play this time?
She's not in the list, it seems.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why. Suomi Cup 10. This is, for anyone who doesn't understand, Suomi, that is like Finland's name for itself or something like that. Zug Liang ended up winning, one of our favorite guests on the Pylon Show. He took out Poo Poo and Cyril, nowhere to be found. You like that ID, Poo Poo?
Yeah, it's good. I'm surprised.
Oh, God. What's your favorite number, no regret? Is it 69 or is it 420? Oh, my God.
Both. I like both of them.
It's 489 is what it is. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Memes and Dreams 2, no regret. Your version of Home Story Cup in Korea. You want to run us through that a little bit? What's coming up with that?
Yeah, sure. So first thing, I actually fucked up the date. It's the weekend of that one. It was like 22 to 23 or something. But basically the idea is we'll invite 8 Koreans. We have 8 foreigners plus me. So there's 9 or 10 foreigners altogether, but 8 will be playing the tournament, and we'll like have groups of 2 foreigners, 2 Koreans against each other. And then players who aren't playing will help commentate. It'll basically be like super budget version of Home Story Cup, but hopefully it'll give a similar vibe and it'll be fun.
Do you have any spoilers as to who is going to be participating?
I do, but I don't have my tablet. I know I'm trying to get DRG because I think DRG is really, really good. Or a fantasy, one of those two. I would like to do fantasy actually after watching him play in WESG qualifiers because he beat a bunch of crazy people.
Yeah.
I would like to do at least like 2 to 3 like of those like legacy players that are coming back and being really sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then the rest are just gonna be like monsters, like stats and classic and dark.
Love
So
to see some DRG and some Tasia and fantasy and stuff in there. That'd be super cool.
It'll be fun. Hopefully one Korean amateur too, but we'll see.
Do you have a number of players that you're having play specifically that you know?
16.
16? Okay. And is that a 2-day or 3-day event?
It's 3 days. So we do groups and then a round of 8. So we do 2 groups per first day, and then 2 groups the second day, and then the round of 8.
And that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah. So
that should be
Sunday is a round of 8 plus finals.
Yeah. All right. So that
usually
should be
like 11-hour days. So
it'll be long, no doubt. I'm gonna come by for at least one of those days.
That's sick.
But 21st, 22nd, 23rd, it looks like, of December. So that's a perfect little time for some additional StarCraft content. There's not normally a lot around Christmas.
Yeah, well,
someone clipped that, I'm sure. Artosis is offered to come at least one of those days. It's clipped, I'm sure.
I'm gonna do it. I've been telling him since that first one. I was like, damn, that was really. I watched a bunch of it, and I was like, I gotta.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Home Story Cup is like my favorite.
It's just like Home Story Cup in Korea. Like, how can you not come? You know.
And that's nice because then you don't have to sleep in a hotel. I just go home at night. Done and done. All right. So check that out in December. We'll be talking more about that as it approaches in the future. The Howling StarCraft Open Cup 2 by Kerwin occurred. Light defeated Blue 3-1 on the Balanced Test mod. And that'll probably be the last Balanced Test mod tournament as we are into the new patch now. And you can check that out on challenge.com/woo2. All right, that's up to you to figure out how many O's there are there. We have the Proxy Tempest NA and EU Opens. This is something that it looks like finish up with Skillus 2-0 over B. And that was in the EU Open number 180. That's interesting because Skillus and B, I believe, further down here, play in a 2-versus-2 tournament and win it. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Check out Proxy Tempest. It's Proxy_Tempest at twitch.tv. Africa World number 26. It looks like there is Rise, H-Jax, Ruff, Cuddlebear, Puck, Future, BioIce, Calabaracus, QXC as well. Of course, Laughing Games and Falcon Paladin. They've given out about $7,000 in prize money so far. So doing a great job over there on Africa TV and putting out some great tournaments. The Kilo Team Invitational. This is the one that I was talking about. Skillus and B defeated Blask and Goblin 4-2 to take the tournament for $100. So that's
disappointed that Turkey Tano Printf didn't, show up with some crazy strategies. Like
I'm sure they
shield
did.
Batteries for each other. Like one guy rushed the Cybercore. I'm gonna go cannon rush. I'll build shield batteries next to your cannons, and we'll just win.
Oh my god!
Why didn't they think of that?
Oh. And you can gift minerals in 2-versus-2, right?
Yeah.
So like you gift your initial 50 minerals to your.
I think there's a cooldown.
Co-player. Oh, there's a cooldown for it.
There's it can happen until like 3 or 4 minutes, I think, but that's probably.
Oh, really? Because I was gonna say you can get a pylon instantly, like as the game starts.
That would be next level. I think they should remove it. I think they should remove the limit, honestly. Just for crazy stuff.
They should just let whatever happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the 2-versus-2 tournament, you can look at Wikipedia or Penguin's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/penguin_SC. Okay, the Pizza Pie Weekly. We have a clear second place runner up here. He won his 5th pizza. It is Future, the rising NA Terran. And he beat Unstgriff Onunkamuri in the finals. That's a wonderful name. I'm really glad this guy typed that into BattleNet and uses that as his ID. But Future has won his 5th pizza. Never going to catch up to Starkiller SC, though. He would literally have to win for over 3 months in a row.
That's
so crazy how many pizzas that guy is. When you just never catch him at this point.
Yeah.
All right. For some upcoming tournaments, the Kings of the North Supa Tournament trailer from ES Champ. 6 players start off with 3 lives, challenge one another to a best of 3. A loss costs a life. When a player loses all 3 lives, they are out. So ES Champ continuing forward on a lot of great content. You can check out more info about this event, which is starting in about 1 week on eschamp.com/KOTN.
Hey, was this a thing before? Maybe MLG or something?
It was a Red Bull tournament.
Yeah, but I loved it. I'm glad that they're
I kind of wanted to try to do something like this, but in like real life, so we could like have people like call each other out in real life and stuff. But I didn't.
That would be cool.
Well,
why don't you do it for the memes and dreams? I mean, just incorporate it to it.
Like we'll see. I think it'd be cool. Like I want to play around with stuff like this, and we'll see how if it goes well with him. Like I would like to.
I love this format. It's just so
It gives like it kind of adds like a personality to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I like most about content. If we can bring like more personality into it.
New players in though. If I was one of the stronger players, I just sit there and let someone else eliminate everybody. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I think everyone has to select one opponent, right?
So like everyone might just choose the weakest player.
Yeah, back in the day, I remember there was a lot of like conspiracies against each other where they would all be like, okay, hey, we're picking Huck, we're gonna kill him. Like everyone pick Huck, and then people would like backstab them. They'd start picking like other people and shit. So it gets really.
I'm not sure if the Koreans would do that though.
Well,
I don't know if the Koreans would do the backstabbing as much.
No, probably not. They have honor, dignity.
But.
I don't know if you get to the right guys.
I think the idea is
if you go to the right guys, okay. I like it.
You have to eliminate players, right? So like when you place top 3, you get money or whatever. So if you eliminate the bottom 3, so that's why you start targeting people. Because if they die, you get more money, right?
Right. What Dan is saying is the strongest player, like by default, if there's not this mind games going on in the back, is just gonna sit back and see the other players get eliminated, and that kind of sucks. And I think that's why the format isn't more popular, but at the same time, it's one of those trade-offs that I think is kind of just cool. The tournament, a small niche.
Yeah, just anything's fun.
It's awesome.
It's good.
I'm thinking of so many different funny circumstances. This actually sounds really cool. It's like StarCraft Survivor or something.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Maybe you can balance it too. Like if you maybe you can balance it. Like say you have Cyril and Maru, maybe they start with just 1 life or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or
you got to give them like 2.
Or you could do something like if you take a map off of the highest seeds, you get like an extra life or something like that.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect. Brilliant.
That would incentivize people to pick the higher ups.
Yes.
Sure, you may lose a life, but if you win, you get an extra.
And you would get a lot of people that are on the verge of being eliminated taking gambles and stuff.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this idea, dude. You've just improved on the system.
I'm thinking of that too, right? You could take a map off Cyril.
Yeah,
right?
I think 1 map if you're like really.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
If you're good. Yeah, you could.
There's
and then you get an extra life, and then it's like, well, we should do and then we're gonna get in like to the point where people can like phone in a friend and shit for lifeline.
yes.
You can like phone up like some fucking Korean, like, hey, Dark, I'm calling you in. Like,
yeah, since it's live, you can just like tag him in and
shit. Yeah, you just tag people in.
Yeah, and you can get like some rewinds. If you beat like the second seed, maybe you get a rewind, like 2-minute rewind.
Oh my god! Yeah, you get to restart into the replay in one of the games. Challenge the top seed, right? If you win a map, you get a game, but like you can take one of your games and restart from replay anywhere you want.
Listen.
You get 3 lives, and then you get 3 lifelines.
But it can be more strategic if it's actually a rewind, like a 2-minute rewind. Then in game, you have to realize at what point you're losing and say, okay, rewind.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to wait until you're too far gone.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's keep this under wraps. We'll start our own tournament.
Okay.
I think a lot of people
the life and lifeline tournament.
I like the lifeline thing where it's like restart from replay at certain points and stuff. And
that would be fun. All right, I'm gonna look into
all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
these are great ideas. And the phone a friend thing, where like you could, especially if you did this live, Jake, you could have make someone sit down at your PC and play.
We're gonna do that.
Wait. The phone a friend could be literally you phone a friend that's watching the stream and they tell you what's going on the other side.
Oh, that would be funny too.
Like, he's going. He's going.
I got it. So you pause the game and you're like, all right, I want to phone a friend. So like you phone up like fucking like Classic or something. You hear them talking in Korean back and forth or something, And they're like, oh shit, he's like proxying me or something.
Oh, you're kidding me. This is too good.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
we're
doing it. And if they miss the
Like-
phone call, they're fucked.
Like,
They
like
have to answer the phone
if
call.
you're playing Maru in the
Where's his
past
proxy,
patch,
you know?
right? You phone a friend right away. Like their strategy would probably.
so smart.
Yeah.
And then Maru has to think, what if he phones a friend? Like, I need to check in.
Yes. What if
Oh, this is gonna be sick.
What I know about this is it's like it sounds pretty silly, but this is actually adding so much strategy outside of the game and making it so personable that
Yeah.
that I
I'm
love
doing
it.
it, guys.
I think it's
I'm announcing it now. We'll do this. I'm gonna invite like 4 Koreans over here, and we'll do like a thing.
Yeah.
4 Koreans.
If when it gets huge, Artosis and I have royalties though.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll give
that's
you guys
fine.
royalties.
Yeah.
This sounds
This
great.
is the best. Yeah.
But not ES Champ. They don't get shit. Okay.
Fuck ES Champ
Or Red Bull, either.
or Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah. So check out ESChamp.com.
All right, guys, that's the Pylon Show. Thanks for coming.
All right, we figured it out. We're moving on. All right. Inside the Scene number 15, SC2 AI and DeepMind episode now on YouTube. Of course, Drexama and Ender Sword. They had on HJax and Nike. You can check that out on their YouTube and twitch.tv/ESChamp. Pigs Icyfar is back this week. It is Mimicry. Impersonate your favorite streamer. Katz's Proxy Hatches. M. Canning's Disruptors. Nathanius's BCs. I'll try to guess who during the cast. So send your replays in to Pig for that. I can't wait to see how many replays he gets of someone just shit talking their opponent while going mech and turtling, man. All right. We have show matches, invitationals, and more from Laughing Games. He continues to put out a lot of content here, this time with Rise_ESC. It'll be Laughing Games and Falcon Paladin doing some casting, africatv.com/Laughing Games. They're getting a lot of great players for that. Very quietly, there's a lot of good StarCraft 2 content that's going up on Africa nowadays. And even you have done this lately, no regret. Just a little shout out to them. They're helping to get some more content out there, so definitely give it a look-see. All right. Aoret is making a new series, Approachable StarCraft 2, he calls it. It is little bite-sized video clips. I was looking at a couple of them before this, and it's basically for people, like if you have a significant other or friend or something that doesn't get why you like StarCraft, he's trying to just explain in little bite-sized chunks what's cool about it and why this person may enjoy to watch. So very cool initiative, and as always, Era is being criminally underwatched, so definitely check him out on his YouTube channel. All right. Upcoming Florencio interview by Aoret. What? Yeah, I don't know what the Florencio thing is, but we talk about this almost every week.
Florencio, I've heard Florencio around.
Yeah, the Florencio Files. It's some sort of pig show.
Florencio.
Pig does weird stuff with those words.
Oh, you know what? It's just like a player. It's a player that does like crazy strategies, it looks like.
No, I think Pig is Florencio. It's maybe his alter ego or something. Is that it?
Oh, it could be.
I think you're right.
Because there's a picture of Pig here.
What is, yeah.
But to see this
so much content. What if he's actually just coming up with crazy strategies and pretending that someone's submitting them to him, but he's casting his own replays, acting like it's some sort of madman, but it's actually Pig himself.
Yeah, that could be it.
We don't know. But
no, Florencio. I've seen Florencio's YouTube, but yeah, I don't think it's Pig actually.
No,
Florencio is great.
I liked it better when it was Pig.
Yeah, me too. But Florencio does crazy stuff. I think, like the craziest stuff that you can think of.
Well, I see on this little screenshot I'm looking at, the probes attacking in. So yeah, it looks good. But you can check that out. Aoret will be interviewing him. Again, check out Aoret's YouTube, youtube.com/Aorets SC2, AORETSC2. Aoret's C2. Yes, there we go. All right. Moving on. Fighting Frogs Weekly Guide Series. Series focused on how to learn SC2 efficiently while playing fun and unconventional strategies. Each guide consists of 50% strategy description and 50% general techniques to learn and descriptions of how to learn them. So someone's trying to really break this down quite a bit. It looks like he's putting a lot of it on the spawning tool for the build orders. So you can check that out if you're interested. Of course, you can always check out these show notes. Anything that I'm going over very quickly, we have it much more in depth with the links and everything within our little document that you can find wherever you listen to your podcast. There'll be a clickable link for you. All right. Tea Time 87. What's up with Burrow from Jack Attack? Jack Attack TV, many of you may know, he invented the core. He's done a lot of work with the sandbox and deliberate practice and things like that. Some very interesting things, kind of less central to the actual strategy and gameplay of StarCraft and more about like kind of improving yourself at StarCraft. I know that sounds weird, but I've always been a big fan of Jack Attack, so definitely check this out. You can check him out, Jack Attack TV. Yeah, he makes great stuff. We should have him on the show sometime. Yeah. Team Liquid interviewed some of SC2's lead designers. It looks like Monk, if anyone doesn't know him, he has been around the scene just forever and has joined Blizzard a little bit more recently. Works a lot on the co-op commanders and everything. And Ryan Shutter, this is the guy that made Gameheart, guys. He's actually like, Gameheart is so much better than everything that Blizzard had for observing that they were like, we need to hire this guy. And he's just brilliant. Does a lot of great stuff for StarCraft too. So I would definitely say head over to Team Liquid and read these interviews because these guys really do know what they're talking about.
They are really awesome people. Ryan lives like 2 blocks away, and I'm having Thanksgiving dinner with Kevin. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
damn.
They're really great.
Excellent.
Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
You're invited, no regret. Get on a plane and go over. I'm going to invite you to their
Wax is going to be there too. It'll be great. Wax Angel was visiting, so.
The perfect group right there. You guys are going to have wonderful conversations. I wish I could be a fly on the wall. All right. There are new articles on the Players Lobby. Now, I don't actually know anything about the Players Lobby yet, but I saw Roddy tweeting about Elazer's thing. Now, these are new player-written articles on themselves and their career at the Players Lobby. Have either of you guys actually looked at these yet?
I read a little bit of Elazer's. Yeah.
And so these are actual articles that they have written. It looks like there's one by Nurture, one by Lambo, and one by Elazer. So I'm definitely going to check these out still. But Roddy was giving it a really glowing recommendation. So if he's liking it, I'm guaranteeing it's going to be really good. So check out the Players Lobby. You can get the links inside the show notes once again. All right, looks like 2018 Gamers' Choice Awards open. Voting is open. I guess myself and Nick have been nominated for the Best Casting Duo. I don't know, though. We talked about these shows on these award things on the show last week and how silly they are. Like StarCraft 2 is not nominated by these people. Cyril is not nominated, by this award show and stuff. So if you'd like to go vote, go ahead. I believe
I say go vote. I'm gonna say everyone should go vote, because if you want to promote something that you like, then just do it, right? Like, and if you want to fight for it, if you want to be angry about it, I think that's fine too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay,
I just feel like it's not like
that. This one you can vote like every hour or something like that, or
okay. So we're spamming.
Anytime, I don't know, because I didn't really check it yet, but I don't know.
So
when I see
want to do is get yourselves. They need to get themselves one of these cubes, and there's a preset for 1 hour, and then you put it on your desk, and it starts beeping after 1 hour. It goes off. So you want to have one of these cubes so that we can vote every hour for the Gamers' Choice Awards here.
Damn, that's a cool cube.
Yeah, it's cool. It helps with ADD.
Well, if you want to go and vote, please feel free to go ahead. Gamerschoice.tv. All right. This week in Brew War, we still have the BSL Season 5 going on. Looks like Babo and True Cats got to the top of Group C, and Group F, Kenzie and Gorinich. Gorinich, of course, is Not For You. Very famous Russian Zerg player. So a lot of great players For non-Koreans, this is completely non-Korean StarCraft, but BSL, probably the biggest, most important thing that the non-Korean scene really has. That plus some of the team leagues are really fantastic. So something I definitely suggest that you check out, and that you can check that out. Zero is doing that. BombasticStarLeague.com is probably the best place that you can go and visit for that. Of course, it's on Liquipedia and all that. Team Liquid, Brood War forums. It's basically still the center of Brood War for the foreign scene. The Africa TV BJ Destruction Team League Season 2 Brood War Edition occurred, and Jaedong's team ended up winning over a demolition demonstration. Yeah, so, right? Wait, no. Jaedong closed out the evening with a 3-1 victory. Yeah, okay, there you go. So I guess that Jaedong, his team won. Anyways, the finals happened down in Busan, and I believe a guy named L-Master, L-Master was commentating it, so you can check out the VODs on Africa TV. All right. From the MIT Technology Review, an old-fashioned AI has won a StarCraft shootout. This is some more stuff on the AI happenings in Brood War. We have a lot of bot tournaments and all that going on. Pretty popular scene. ES Champ's been doing a lot of work on that as well. So if you're really interested, check out the show notes. There's also another little part about SETA, which is another bot team going on. They've been killing it lately. 95.91 win percentage. In the world of bots, I guess they've made the Flash bot. So that is a damn high win. Or cool. Maybe even the Cero bot, to be honest, with a win percent like that. Damn.
I wonder how competitive it is, because they got together and took a picture, and there's 7 of them. I wonder if there's another team as powerful, like with equal manpower. And
so you're saying this might be the Jin Air of
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Soon they're going to make bots to fight against their bot. Just to get it better.
Well, that's a good way to practice, I guess. There is an awesome video out right now made by the O Gaming TV crew. Funka and Coca do the sickest rap. Have you guys seen this rap?
I have not yet, no, but yeah.
Oh my God. You guys have done yourselves a great disservice. Funka and Coca. All right. This is something that happens to me every time I get to hang out with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always think I'm a pretty cool guy. And then I hang out with them, I'm like, oh, I'm not cool at all. I'm a fucking dork. These guys are like, I can't believe they even like StarCraft. I don't deserve to be friends with these guys. They're so cool. And you can really
the video's playing. I don't know, like everything that you're saying as the video's playing, it just doesn't, but I love these guys too. I think they're great, and I think they're really cool.
They're fantastic, and they're great at rapping and dancing, if you ask me. It's a little thing about the Home Story Cup. They do it in French, but there are subtitles. But anyways, you definitely want to watch that. I really enjoyed it and was cracking up the whole time.
They're lovely people, yeah.
Yes. Okay. StarCraft 2 charity stream for the BC Cancer Foundation by Some Drunk Canadian, a Pylon Show longtime watcher and supporter. There's going to be a 24-hour StarCraft 2 charity stream on November 21st. So I guess that's actually probably going on right now. So, hey, why don't you open up twitch.tv/Some Drunk Canadian. I imagine he's still on. Best of luck to him. And you can help him out with this charity stream. I think that's a great thing to do. All right. The WESG 2018 online qualifiers have been occurring. Let me read off some of these winners for you guys, because WESG is actually, we talked about it quite a bit last week. It's kind of a very exciting, interesting tournament that's in a great time of the year where we don't have as much of everything else, but the coverage isn't fantastic. So just to bring everyone up to speed, Hearthstone defeated Uthermal in the Benelux finals, the region winner. So Hearthstone gets to go. In Central EU, Raynor defeated Hate Me. Eastern EU, MSRM defeated Space Marine. Who is MSRM?
Who is in East EU? Is this the best players in East EU?
I've heard
Space Marine used to be good. Yeah, I'm not sure how much he's played as of recently.
Yeah,
I've never heard of MSRM.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know who MSRM is, but I mean, congrats to him. I guess he's going to China. Sick. Petit Drogo advanced over DNS in France for Germany. Showtime advanced with Lambo, and they took out TLO to do so. So a couple of great players going from Germany. And Iberia, and for anyone wondering where that is a peninsula with Spain and Portugal on it. Solir, who's actually one of these very young up-and-coming guys from that region, took out Rote. Solier's actually had he's been getting better and better. He's actually kind of one of these people, like, he's not like a Clem or a Rainer yet, but definitely one of these very strong younger players.
He wants to come to our house. He was messaging me on Twitter.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, you should let him.
I said he could come if he messaged me. He wanted to book it a year in advance. I'm like,
well, that's pretty far in advance.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, he's just that excited about it, probably.
Does he know that this is esports and normally things happen about 4 days in advance?
No, he's 16. His parents probably told him you can go when you're 17 or something like that. So he's like, the first thing
I said it was fine. He just needs to message me like 4 months in advance. I could probably do, but a year I can't.
That'd be sad if he has a plane ticket with a return date like a month or two later, but the team house is folded by then. No regrets, gone back to Canada.
I'll just say you can stay at Artosis's house. Is what I'd say.
Oh, I don't think so. All right, Poland. We had a laser and mana qualify. Russia Rail took that down. For Serbia, Xerox defeated 70. Heard of Xerox, but or 0x. I actually don't know how to say his name.
Are there any players from Serbia? But
70. The only time I've heard of 70 is as the number, but okay.
Yeah, Xerox is the printer, no?
It is actually, you're right.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think that's where you
started.
Yeah, but I think you connected it to the printer. You were like, I've heard of Xerox.
Yeah,
also,
I think you're right.
0x might be the most common 2 words that you can use in a name as well. So.
Yeah. Unless he was like Dark Knight 0x. But,
sure.
All right, UK, we had Risky advance over Razorblader. In USA, Neeb defeated Silky. Kelliger over Eric. In Peru, Ryu over B-Lord. In South Korea,
I didn't play.
Oh, okay.
I won last year without practice. This year, I was like, I'm just going to
go to WESG last year?
No, I won the Peru qualifier. Yeah. Then if you're setting me up for the brag, I'll take it. Then I took in my group stages, I took a game from Neeb, Scarlet, Kelasur, and the other 2. But mainly those 3 is the brag.
Cats, you're a badass. Damn.
Thank you.
All right. And the Asia Pacific region, so far, Mongolia, we had CRS win. That is, he's qualified as the only registered player. That's funny because he's actually like a pretty high level player too.
He's okay, yeah. I think if anyone else signed up, he probably would have won 100%. So
yeah. He seems to be.
It's like 5-6, I think, on Korea or something like
although,
that.
you know, I was reading a Team Liquid blog post. There's actually a pretty nice little Mongolian StarCraft 1 scene. Little group of players that are staying really active over there. Anyways, for South Korea, which we have the bracket up here, which I want to talk about just briefly, Dark took down Innovation in the finals. So first off, it's cool to see Innovation doing well in a tournament. He took out someone named BattleNet. Wow, he took out BattleNet. Damn. He took out Yun, who took out TY, and then he took out Gumiho. So he's actually like a Terran killer right now.
Oh, it's funny. They both 3-0'd all the way, except for all of the Dark 3-0'd all the way through, and Innovation 3-0'd all the way through until he got 3-0'd himself.
Yeah. Dark taking out Deer, Impact, Fantasy, and something you actually texted me as soon as you saw this.
I was like, that was my mind blowing shit. I was like, what's going on here?
Fantasy 3-2 Sue and 3-0 Stats.
And he beat SOS before this, just further down on the bracket.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
He's hungry.
He looked so poor in Super Tournament. I was like so excited that he qualified. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I'm excited. Like, I love Fantasy and StarCraft 1. And then it was like the worst bop in the whole history of Earth in Super Tournament. But now look at this. That is a sick finish by him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we have nothing else to say about that, but cool. Fantasy is playing well.
I texted you. That's how excited I was. I think he's great potential for next year.
Yeah.
And obviously he's hungry, like Paulo was saying, for that win.
Yeah, angry.
Angry or hungry?
Angry. He's been overlooked.
Oh.
But Dark destroyed that tournament as well. Just 3-0 everyone.
Super duper destroyed it.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit. He didn't drop maps. He sailed that tournament, guys. All right. Also, it looks like we also had China. Time and Mexed made it. South Asia, Demi over Amy Pie. And wow, just there are so many players playing in this tournament, man. I have even more regional qualifiers. Scarlet versus Masa is going to go on for Canada, Chile. Jerpy will face Halfbreed for Mexico and South America. Special defeated Cham. Eggs will face Dark Unnamed in South America. Yeah, we already talked about Demigod in West Asia. Excuse me. We'll face Sonny. Stefano, representing Africa, defeated Cyber Lizard. And Namshar defeated Namshar with some really good stuff lately. Ukraine, it looks like Damaga is going to face Hellraiser. Ooh, that's exciting. Damaga really back right now. But Hellraiser's been on quite a tear, so we'll see.
Yeah, Hellraiser is very powerful.
Yeah, but imagine if Damaga can do that, because Damaga has twins, guys. And let me tell you a little something about twins. It's hard to say good at StarCraft when you got twins. But,
yeah, I mean, Damaga is brilliant, but you know, yeah, he has twins for sure.
Yeah. All right, so that is WESG. We will continue to update that as it moves forward. Don't forget Cheese-Adelphia number 8 on the 8th and 9th of December. $10,000 of prize money. This is absolutely something that you want to go to if you are anywhere near there. It's in Washington, D.C. It will be cast by Fear Dragon and Tempo. We talked a lot about it last week. A ton of great players go to it, and there is nothing more fun than a StarCraft LAN, literally in the whole world. That's if there's only one thing I can do for the rest of my life, it's play StarCraft LANs. It's just, or go to them, or just in general. It's amazing. So check it out.
And shout out to them for being on their 8th edition and having the biggest prize pool they've ever had, I think. That's pretty great.
They're killing it.
This is like the closest thing we have to MLG days. So if anyone has like nostalgia for that, you should definitely go and watch it.
And it's growing. So, help them grow more, I guess.
Absolutely agreed. Okay, that's this week in StarCraft. Damn, that segment just takes so long, but we had some good talks. And that brings us into the main bulk. We're going to talk about Home Story Cup really heavily, but first I do want to just mention the patch went live yesterday. The new patch, the new balance patch. We've got the new ladder season, the new ladder maps are all up. Now, we talked before the show. Myself and No Regret have played 3 games each on the new patch. But Katz has played 5. So Katz, what are you thinking so far?
Oh my God. It's been crazy. No, for real, like the patch has a lot of changes that are going to bring us back to like old metas for the most part. I don't think anything's going to be too crazy other than like the later game units like battle cruisers and tempests. I'm pretty excited for. I think we're going to see a lot of that, but for the most part, I think we're going to go back to things that used to be composition that we've seen before. Just in general, like Mutas and CVT, I think.
Mutas, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think Mutas.
Middling Bane, for example, right? Like, the old Disruptor. It's not like a new unit, right? So it's not like you'll have the surprise of, oh crap, that's the old Disruptor, not the new old Disruptor. The first Disruptor. So it'll blow your stuff up like once or twice, and then you'll be like, yeah, okay, I remember how to play against this a little bit better, right? That's what I mean. It's familiar territory, I think.
The Colossus change seems extremely underwhelming, by the way, from what I've seen so far.
Yeah. I thought just the turret,
like the targeting. Yeah, I thought it would be a little bit better than it actually is, but really it isn't. Like Colossus aren't that fast, so like even if you're microing them back and forth, like your rest of your army has to slow down a bit. Like it just seems extremely underwhelming. I don't think we'll see Colossus in the next meta. I'd be impressed if we do. We might a little bit in ZVT, or TVP, but I still don't think it's that good that you would actually want it over like the Immortals. I just feel are better. They don't die to Vikings and stuff.
Well, there's the added benefit of getting the Disruptors as well if you go Colossus, right? Some people might want to mix in like Disruptors and Colossus.
Right, even that, the people think are just worse than the old Disruptor too.
Yeah, I'm just making a case for that. Like Colossus might come back on the. Oh, you think that the new Disruptor is strictly worse? I think they're very different units.
I think they are, but I think the old one was just better for what it was in TVP.
And maybe, I don't know. I just think they're so different, right?
I think it really matters on the skill level of who you're playing against as well, because the amount of disruptor shots that I have seen like a Maru or a TY run one Marine into with the old disruptor, and I just laugh. I'm like, oh my god, like, that disruptor's not doing anything. But here, you can aim it a bit better. It's definitely better for PvP by 1,000,000,000%. So that's kind of cool.
One of the things that's worse about it is the fact that you can stim it down and kill it now. Like before, you try to do that, you run forward, kill the thing, it'll kill you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like there is a lot of like micro ability against it now. You can actually kill it because it won't just blow up as soon as it goes off. I think the old one was like guaranteed damage, guaranteed to push them back away from your army, and it was guaranteed like positional and a positional advantage, which you don't really have anymore. I think it's still possible, it's still feasible. I just think that the old one had more of a positional and like 100% guaranteed to push them back. Good defensively.
Yeah, one of the main things for the old one as well was that you could fire multiple of them really easily, whereas with the new one you kind of have to micro it a little bit more. But I think the new one has a lot more potential for doing a lot of damage. Like if you're using it as holding an all-in mechanic type thing or that kind of thing, you can really just threaten even with a new one, with just a new one of the new disruptors. You can just threaten and say, I have this disruptor, right? Like you don't have to fire right away. It's just, I don't know, it's a different unit, I think, that you make less of.
You know what? Yeah. If I could put into words, actually, you're kind of making me think about this now. The disruptor, the way it is right now, is more micro-intensive for the person using it, and before it was more micro-intensive for the person playing against it.
Yes.
That depends too. Like we're talking about two different types of micro almost. Like one would be the amount of attention that you spend on this one is probably greater, but the reaction time that you need for the old one has to be better, right? You have to be able to grab one unit, send it really quick. But in terms of amount of time spent, this one makes you spend more time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And
also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
So Cyclones, I think they're in a weird position, but they're really strong. Like we will find a meta with them 100%. We need to find like a crisp build order for it right now. They're really strong. Like I think they're better than the old one, especially defensively. Like you can actually target and then pull back and stuff like that. It seems really good, especially with the upgrade. I think it like 4 shots at Stalker, which is insane. It's either 4 or 5, so it's really, really good. Like you target on and you can move away from the Stalker to chase it and then kill it. Like Stalkers are pretty much useless. They have an auto attack against air units, which I didn't know. Like I played a couple games and people were just flying oracles over and losing them to the auto attack.
Wait. It's really? An auto attack? It's not the lock on?
Yeah, it has an auto attack and the lock on. So the lock on, once it goes off, like if you just have your Cyclone, it'll still kill an oracle. Even without the lock on.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How did I miss this?
Well, it's
everyone missed it.
It's really short range.
I didn't know.
It's really short range. It fires slowly. Like you kind of just forget about it, but it's one of those things that once you get used to it again, you won't probably lose some.
Basically, like in this situation, my Cyclone was pretty low HP. The lock on went off, right? And then he moved his oracle out of the way, came back because he was going to kill it, and then the auto attack killed the oracle.
Wow, yeah, it was probably just really low HP, right?
Yeah, well, it took 2 shots and just killed it. I don't know. It was probably like.
My point is a player that's familiar with that doesn't come back into the range of your Cyclone, right? Because it's really short range, the auto attack, and it's pretty slow.
The lock-on ability itself is pretty strong, but it's also nice when dealing with like proxies and stuff. Like I was killing a pylon on a gateway that was proxied, and then he would try to come in with his stalkers, and it would lock on and kill the stalkers, and then it would go back to auto attacking the pylon. Like I find there's a lot of situations where auto attack is actually quite good.
Yeah, at least in my 3 ladder games this morning, every Terran is just like, oh, I'm going to make Cyclones. So a lot of free ladder points to be had right now. Definitely log on, guys, and you can raise your MMR. Just go. Everyone's
if you're a Protoss, need Blink or War Prism. That's your best friend against the Cyclones.
Another thing too for Cyclones though, if you go Blink or something like this, you build a tech lab for it, like 100%, so you can just get a tank really quickly after it. So as long as you don't die defensively, you're in a pretty good spot. I think we're gonna have to see. I hope to God, please, if anything, if you're listening, if you're real, please no proxy racks tech labs and then factory and then like lift the racks and fly it around and have like it would be so obnoxious. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's exactly what I played against all morning.
It's so obnoxious. Please don't.
That was the Nathanias build, right?
No.
I'm
I know
pretty sure
everyone-
that was actually the Nathanias.
I mean,
Like,
everyone. It's
Cyclone
just
Rush,
like the
right?
most obvious fucking thing ever. Like, just don't do it. Okay. Like, I think it might be strong, but I don't want a whole year of like dumb proxies that people are trying to do, and then counter proxy Stargates and whatever the fuck's going on now. It's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Do we have any feelings on which race is going to adapt to these patches, to this patch, the most quickly as we lead this into the Home Story Cup talk?
I think Zerg will
You think
probably be
Zerg will
most easily
adapt?
Well, I think like the changes for Zerg are really not that.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, and then on top of that, we already knew how to play Lingbane Muta from before. If you're a player of like a good caliber, even we were playing it a bit before the patch even happened. Like we were starting to see Mutas come back, and Lingbaneling has not been touched at all. So I think overall Zerg probably has the easiest like new patch. Whereas Protoss, they have the disruptor switch. Terran is by far the hardest, I think, with the Cyclone change, because the Cyclone used to be a core defensive unit. It's different. I don't think it's bad. It's just different. So people have to figure that stuff out.
Yeah. So there might be some precise defenses that are a bit tough.
Right.
Yeah, I think as far as the question,
timing. Go ahead, Paolo.
Thank you, baby. As far as the question you asked, I agree with Jack Welling here. I think Zerg will adapt easiest, but what race is strongest is, I think, a different question.
Yes, I agree.
Well, what do you think that is then?
The Protoss race.
You think the Protoss race is the strongest race?
The Protoss race is the strongest.
With this patch that was
I agree,
mostly
actually.
Protoss nerfs?
Yeah. No. I think
no.
Makes sense
here's
to me,
the thing
Cass.
is.
Okay, so go
No,
ahead,
what do you mean? There's no
Go, Paolo.
there's no
Let's
mostly
go, Paolo.
nerfs. Like there's the Sentry Hallucination is pretty sexy.
Don't hold back.
The Tempests are incredible, right?
Give
like,
him everything.
There's like slight feedback change. The Robo is a little bit cheaper.
Could you
What about the
remind
mothership,
me-
Paolo? Tell him about the
new
mothership.
The new Tempest, did it have more hit points or less hit points than a Changeling? I can't remember.
What?
Oh, come on.
The new
This
Tempest
is-
is pretty good.
This is
I think it's a way better position than
It's
it used to be.
insane. It's insane because how can you care about HP of a unit that won't get hit because it can kite anything, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's what it
No,
does.
I like the new Tempest. I'm just
Okay,
It's-
so Mothership 2. What's going on? We got an ability that literally limits your attacks by 50%. So we were already doing like these Immortal Archon like
Preach.
Mothership timings, but now you also can't make Lurkers because Lurkers are obviously shit. Imagine you have Lurkers and they're just like, well, now your Lurkers shoot 50% slower. You have to unmove them or move them, and then you just kill that base. Peace out.
Yeah.
Come back later when you have more energy.
Oh,
Do it
you're
again.
wishing Jeff was here now, Dan, but he's not here to
Throw down a
protect.
couple Stargates. It's time, boys. We go into Tempest. We can kill your Broodlords from a fucking distance while time warping anything that you're actually trying to use, and then
damn.
we just, you know.
I wish that Jeff was here so he could lean back in his chair, then he could lean way towards the webcam and say something snarky and just sit there. But he's not. I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Your Vipers are pretty good against the Mothership the last time I checked, okay?
Yeah, but
and now
time
that
warp
they
is
don't
better.
die to feedback, I think you're going to be all right. You poor
You're
little
just gonna
Zerg guys.
You're gonna yoink the Mothership into your army.
Gosh.
We're gonna time warp your army and then just kill it because
You know what?
you've
You're
got a
right. I think
50% attack nerf.
The only time this is ever going to be balanced is when Zerg wins every tournament. It's messed up that Maru was able to eliminate Rogue this year from so many tournaments.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like the whole 50% thing is weird. It's like, okay, we got to stop Zergs from turtling. Let's give them this ability that like directly counters your late game. So, and also, I like to see how it goes. It just feels a little weird to me that like it's like a band-aid to like dealing with something that you don't like. Like the original way of dealing with spore crawlers was just not attack into the spore crawlers, do something else, move around. Now they're like, okay, no, you can attack into spore crawlers now. Like, just
cool.
you guys
fine.
just kill them. We'll see, I guess. I think Terran players are gonna have it a little rough. I think overall.
Why?
Like the BC seems kind of shit. I don't think it's actually that good. The Cyclone seems fine, but not really a late game unit. Mech seems way worse against Protoss, even though it was already pretty bad. Like the Tempest is actually really good against battle cruisers, right? Maybe if we get these weird blinky situations, but I think just like faster Tempest is always better than HP.
Well, when they jump in now, I haven't gotten to use the new Tempest yet, but it seems like you're going to be able to run away rather than recall away.
Right.
So that just makes it, the jumping shouldn't be.
Yamato
like-
will probably still be really good, but
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what should happen to the Tempest eventually, like obviously we'll see how it plays out, right? So this might seem premature, but I think that it needs to decelerate a little bit when it disengages, so that it commits, so that it's more committed to engagements. Because right now it can just like kind of disengage and run away if it's losing, and that's just kind of too powerful of a thing, I think.
Wait,
but
what do you mean?
Like if it had a slow turn rate, for example, or if it was slower to accelerate out
that
of...
way you can use it as a kiter, basically.
Right, exactly.
Well,
so you could move around the map really fast. So it would be a very strongly positional unit,
but I
you
think
couldn't...
the point is it has to
the
be...
point is to kite, yeah. I think, actually, I think it would
yeah.
be too bad if we did that, because then...
Maybe you increase the speed, right? Maybe you make it a really mobile unit or something.
Like super fast.
Yeah, something like that. Like
I don't know. I guess I think it's it feels a lot better as a Protoss player. Like I actually feel like I can use it. I can micro it. It's actually like a pretty decent unit.
Yeah.
It feels way smoother than it used to be. It used to be really clunky, and it was like, if he's on top of me, I'm just dead. Like this is the game is over.
Yeah.
Like have you ever seen Tempest actually kill anything when there's something underneath them? Like no. And you can't get out of the way. Recall feels really weird too. It's like this little fucking circle. I'm like, what's going on here? Like maybe if I just like stack all my units, I can recall them out or something. But the recall seems way weirder. I don't actually know what situations you would want to use recall anymore, like the Nexus recall. It just feels weird and clunky. Is it the same as before, or just a smaller radius? Like
it's a smaller radius and it's quicker now.
Okay.
So I think it's more for, you see all the time people like recall a warp prism that went too deep or something like that. I think it's more for that and less for
little tactics
like,
around.
my whole army goes home high when the base.
I like that. I like that.
I like that better too. Yeah.
It's good.
Recalling probes is way better, obviously now too. Like you can always get the probe out 100% of the time if you want to.
Yeah. I'm already finding I like this new recall a lot better. So that little review on the patch being said, let's jump into Home Story Cup and talk about this, because this is the biggest tournament for the rest of the year. I don't think anything else is even announced yet for the rest of the year other than Memes and Dreams, which is happening in late December.
And the Lifeline tournament, we're going to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
That's not announced yet. We're doing that shit. That's an announcement, boys. Jack, if you're listening, you can't take our idea. You're not allowed to add Lifelines to your tournament.
Yeah,
this is our tournament.
He is champ.
We have to invite like Koreans with good personalities. So
that's gonna be
fun. We're gonna do like maybe
they need a lifeline for that one.
8-player single elimination Lifeline tournament. That sounds fun.
Go for it.
I want to see it so bad. But lifelines aside.
Oh, you know what else could be a lifeline? Like you make like okay, never mind. We'll go on for hours if we do this. You continue.
I think it has to be foreigners. I think your house has to
only foreigners.
Well, Koreans can do it too, but they have to talk in English, or we need to have translators. Otherwise, it's gonna be like a phone call that no one understands.
So you have a few like solar and dark and stuff. Absolutely, just throw them right in.
Solar, do it. Yeah,
and there's a few others. So you probably have like Bunny in there and.
Stats. Anyone that
stats will laugh the whole time.
I love stats. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay, all that being said, right? Home Story Cup from this moment starts in 9 hours and 15 minutes. So this is the most timely review of this tournament that is about to go on. So a ton of players are there, and so many good players are there. Just to mention, yes, Cyril is playing. I mean, this is a crazy lineup. I guess that we'll just go through it group by group. And for anyone wondering, no, Mario's not playing. I'm sorry. It's you're going to have to wait till next BlizzCon for that. Okay, so let's go into Group A and start talking about it. So Group A, we have Rogue, Showtime, Euthermal, Cure, Hearthstone, Namshar, Marine Lord, and Rail. What are some thoughts here, guys?
How many people get out of groups? 4?
4 people. So 2 get good seeds and 2 get lesser seeds. And then the bottom 4 obviously eliminated.
Okay, so yeah, you told me about the show last night, and then I messaged a bunch of players to try to get their thoughts on Home Story Cup. So I have a few notes from a few players that I'll just bring up from this group, I only have Namshar. Okay. And the question that I asked all players, it was a copy pasta. Okay. And it said, hey, I'm going to be on the Pylon tomorrow. One of the bigger talk picks is a Home Story Cup review. If you have any expectations for the tournament yourself, balance that you want to share, and this is heavily impacted also my view on balance, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll try to bring it up briefly and organically. I know this is not the most organic way to bring this up.
Yeah, what the hell?
But yeah.
So basically, I was copy pastaing players.
Yeah, I copy pasted all the players. Maybe not the most organic. Organically, we got to the topic, right? So Namshar, he says, all right, sure. Well, I think the tournament will be pretty hype. So many strong players taking part. I think I have a hard group, but I think I have a better or much better chance of advancing than people might think. I'm really hoping I can bring some EU CVC to Rogue as well. Ooh, we hear a lot of EU people very proud about the EU CVC, by the way. We don't know.
Yeah.
Jake's not a fan of that one, yeah.
Well, like Rogue is like not someone you're like, my European CVC can take him. Like, no. Rogue is like, if it was Rogue versus Sero finals, we would have been like, like it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, that was nice.
Their match was great, yeah.
Yeah.
He said, he does seem like maybe even the best Korean CVCer, but I think I have a good chance. So, Jake, how you feel about that? Anyway, it says, I think we'll see a lot more variety in new strats, or at least composition-wise, than usual from Protoss, which might be especially tough through the best of threes. Maybe some new Terran Cyclone strats as well. Transfuse change seems scary, but may not be devastating. That's Namchar's thoughts. So he seems to expect he'll do pretty okay.
Okay. Well, okay, looking at the group.
I think too.
You think so? You think he'll get out of the group then?
I think it's within like the realm of possibilities. If I don't think M Lord has a chance, for example. Like let's see,
people are saying he's in good shape right now, though.
He's good, yeah. That kid is talented, man. He 4-0'd Korean. Korea.
Back in the day, that's true.
But wait a minute, hold on. Let me look up my big list of apologists Korean rhetoric. It was nighttime and lag. So that one doesn't count.
I think like to see M Lord beating people like Showtime, Namshar, Euthermal, like these people have been really dominant for a really long time. I think I'd be amazingly impressed if he did it. Like
he recently like 3-0 DNS in some tournament. DNS, I would compare with
DNS is like DNS chokes all the time, all the fucking time.
Fair.
Like he's so good. Don't get me wrong.
He does choke a little bit.
He's a choker. Yeah. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I think M Lord coming back is good for StarCraft. He was really good foreigner.
He's got a great person.
I think M Lord's probably not a high percentage. I don't know if 100% obviously because you guys are hyping him up a lot right now. Rail probably not. I think Hearthstone looks pretty good, honestly. I feel like Hearthstone always looks pretty good during patches.
Yeah.
He seems to be like one of the first couple people to actually play on the patch, like the balance test patches and stuff like that. I think Rogue obviously is a monster. He's getting out 100%.
Yeah.
I will eat a shoe if he doesn't. You guys can poke me with this.
Be careful, man.
I don't see him coming.
People are still waiting on me swallowing a sword from something I said 2010 or so.
Sugiliag also was supposed to eat a shoe that he never ate.
Who was?
Sugiliag. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about this.
He was definitely supposed to eat a shoe. Never happened.
I heard about this too. But I actually will. I'm a man of honor.
Okay.
I will try at least.
Like, will you? Okay.
Like, are you gonna cut it up and put
like I'll take a fork and a knife and like I'll just.
If it's a very
soup, maybe in a soup.
leather shoe, you could eat it, right?
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it'll just pass through you, right?
I mean,
the hard thing might be chewing it up.
If I did this, I would.
Listen, Rogue is not coming 5th in this group. Okay, we don't need to worry about this. If Rogue comes 5th, the world is probably going to end anyway. So you might
jet lag, maybe not.
Maybe sick, drunk. Hey, maybe he drinks too much.
If he's poisoned or killed,
it's Home Story Cup.
Okay, guys.
If he's poisoned or killed, you will not eat a shoe, is what you're saying?
Yes.
That's what your priority at that point in time is?
He has to live, okay?
Not eating the shoe.
I think, okay, by basically what I'm saying is he's more likely to be stabbed in Krefeld than to come 5th place in this group.
Okay.
I can get behind.
So I do not, if he gets stabbed in Krefeld, I do not want to eat a shoe. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Let's continue. Wait, so top 4s, do we want to predict that or?
Yeah, just like top 4. I think.
Sure. And if there's anyone that you're borderline, that's fine. If there's people that are 100%, that's fine.
Okay, Rogue 100%, obviously.
Okay.
I think Showtime is a given too. He's been looking really strong.
Yeah.
He's also probably, just statistically the second best in this group. I feel like Euthermal's kind of a wild card, especially with his Cyclone usage. I don't know if that's going to be if he's going to be good or bad. He's probably going to be in there. I just can't tell. I think Namshar is actually going to be a given almost over Namshar and Hearthstone. I think Euthermal is a question mark for me right now. He could be really good or he could be really bad. I really don't know.
You're saying Rogue, Showtime, Hearthstone,
Namshar.
Those are your clear favorites?
Yeah, I think Kier is going to bomb.
I will say one thing for bettors. These groups look like they've been seeded already. Like the strongest perceived players are at the top. I think maybe not the second group, but yeah, I'm kind of with you on Rogue, Showtime. I want to think Euthermal in a new patch should be pretty strong. I think he's one of the more like creative and inventive Terrans. So he could like go on to have a really strong finish in the tournament, like top 4 or something like that, I think. Or he could crash and burn terribly. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing with Euthermal. He's either really, really good or like just bombs out, right? Like it's really high highs and really low lows, I feel.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do, I think, with like his style and stuff. And I think with a new patch, it should be a higher chance of him performing well rather than poorly. And for my fourth, I'm not sure. I think that's rough. And I think Showtime and Rogue are like, I think Rogue is 100%. I think Showtime is like 95%. And I wouldn't be surprised if like Showtime wins the whole thing. It's and I'm gonna go with Hearthstone for my fourth year of Hearthstone.
Oh,
so Rogue, Showtime, Euthermal, Hearthstone.
Yeah,
I think that's fine too.
Huh. Well, I mean, I look at this group, right? And the only person 100% for me is Rogue, because it's Rogue.
So
and it's just like, wow, I mean, this guy is the second best Zerg in the world. He's going to get out of this group. There's no problem. Here's the thing. I think I've been incepted by all the French people at BlizzCon, because the amount of people that came up to me and were talking to me about Marine Lord and how he's back and how he's good. They're like, oh yeah, he's 6.7K already. He's beating everybody. He looks so good. And like the amount of people that have told me that, it's like I'll be trying to fall asleep in my room, and I open my eyes and Coca's on the ceiling, and he's like holding on the walls like that, right? He's like, Green Lord's really good, and then he drops out and runs out of my room, and I'm like, what is going on here? Everyone's telling me that Green Lord is in great shape. And the thing is, my brain automatically is going back to when he was active, and like every time he's hitting good Koreans and stuff, he's just coming out on top. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
But then, let me ask you this. Did they all work for O Gaming, all of these guys?
Yeah, that's a question too.
Here's a counter question for you cats. Can you find a French person in the scene that doesn't work for O Gaming?
Checkmate. But
all right.
I feel like there's lots of reason to be hype about it, but I just don't see like how mechanically you can just come back and like beat all these people that have been playing so long. It would be really impressive.
It's a new patch too, which
this is why it blew my mind when Fantasy did it, right?
Yeah,
like it just doesn't happen. It really doesn't very often.
Well,
but we'll see, I guess.
I don't know what to really think about the group too, though, because then I look at there's players like Rail. Okay, I don't watch a lot of Rail's games, but like when I think Russian Protoss, I think, okay, top tier Zergs, this guy might have a trouble against, but you give him a Terran or Protoss, I feel like that's something that a strong, solid Protoss can fight. And then I look at this group and I'm like, well, Rogue's already getting out. So it's like everyone's fighting for 3 spots. So I'm like, oh yeah, Rail could actually make some big waves here against these Terrans and Protosses.
Yeah.
So and then I look at Kieran and I'm like, well, I know he has to be really good right now. The whole damn generic team is really good. Basically what I'm trying to say is this group is like a huge mystery to me. Like
it's a new patch.
Yeah,
I think that's
the big thing. Yeah, I'm sleeping on Kier because his Katowice run was pretty anticlimactic. I think a lot of his international stuff has been anticlimactic, and with a new patch, like I have no idea. It could be that Jin Air just like gets it and like fucking they snap their fingers and they just already know the new meta and everything.
Yeah,
I think Kier is really really good. But the problem is he just chokes. He's like DNS, where he just doesn't show his best play in tournaments.
Oftentimes,
like he's like 6'7", 6'8" on Korea, which is really good. Like that's really good. I think stats like 6'6", so but he just chokes.
All right. All right, I think we've done Group A some good justice. Let's go to Group B, which will also be played later tonight, about 15 hours. We have Innovation, Laser, Creator, Rainer, Kelliger, Denver, Zanster, Goblin. What are you guys? Look, when I first look at this group, I just kind of get excited because like Creator's back in good shape, right? Innovation obviously just got second in the WESG calls. Now that was only against Terrans that we saw in that end of the bracket, but still. And then like every tournament that a Laser's in, I'm always like, oh, Laser's gonna do so well. And
Rainer's
hasn't as much recently. He has won a tournament recently and all that, but then you've got the up and comers, right? Like Rainer and Denver and Goblin. I don't think it's Goblin's time yet, so I'm saying no on that one. But Denver's been killing it lately. Rainer obviously is like one of the most exciting players in the scene right now. I don't know what to do with any of these groups, guys. Why don't you two talk?
Okay, so Goblin, I actually talk to a lot. And we talk strategy, as weird as that might be. So he bounces ideas. And he has some pretty cool stuff prepared. So I think he can surprise some people. And I think he's a really strong player already. But yeah, I would say he's the biggest underdog coming into this group, right?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone else here is played a lot of tournaments.
Yeah. And it's like his first big tournament. And yeah, he's like pretty shy as well. So I'm not sure how he's going to fare in this environment. Plus they're young. I'm not sure how the youngsters do in Homestar Cup. Maybe they have the advantage that maybe they don't drink as much or don't drink at all. I don't know.
It could be.
That could factor in. Now I have a quote from a Laser to start us off here.
Yeah.
You ready, Dan? Brace yourself.
I'm super ready.
Okay.
Biggest Laser fan. Let's go.
He said, well, my main thought is that if Protoss won't win this tournament, they really need some special help in the future because it's not getting any better than this. Let's hear back from the number one Laser fan here, Dan.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. Okay. Well, I guess the slightly better recall and the disruptor is back.
Tempests are way better.
Before
recall is way. Our time warp is insane.
Yeah,
and tempests are good.
Is that really the hill that Zerg players are going to die on right now?
It seems like it, but
the spell that we have on our hero unit, which is the biggest unit in the game and the most easy to abduct, that spell is too strong. Is that where we're going, Zerg players?
We'll find out. All right.
I just can't wait till we see clips of like time warp killing Zerg armies over and over and over again. I'm gonna be like, what did I say, Dan? They're gonna be like yoinking them in, and then they're just gonna time warp the army. It'd be like yoinking in a vortex, and then all the Archons go in. Like, do you remember doing that? Well, we didn't have Vipers back then, but that would be what.
Yeah, there's no yoinking.
So,
okay.
Kelliser also has a quote. He said, "I think I can beat anyone in my group except Innovation." So there's that. And that's He said he has no comments on balance.
Huh. That's interesting. I feel like as Kelliser, if I was in Kelliser's shoes, I'd feel like possibly like someone like Rainer would be even scarier than Inno.
Well, the matchup is probably what he has confidence or not in, because Innovation's the only Terran in the group, so he probably just feels weak in TVT.
And Innovation looks pretty good TVT, so I guess that makes sense.
Guys, I think, actually, looking at this again, I think it's going to be 3 Zergs in Innovation probably coming out of this group.
You want it to be.
He wants.
I think it's going to be. It's not just that I want it. I wouldn't mind Creator doing well. He really excited me in Super Tournament, like showing some good skills and stuff. But
you're saying Denver or Zanster have to beat like Kelliser and Creator.
They're good. Zanster had a good run recently.
I don't think Kelliser is coming out of this group, unfortunately. Remember, he's retired, guys.
Yeah, I have to be.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, super unbiased. He has a girlfriend and goes to school, so.
But he's a Terran player, so.
But he is a Terran player. His
grandpa did tell him not to take the game so seriously. So.
There you go.
And he improved immediately, so maybe even more.
Maybe.
So top 4s, people?
I'm going dude. Innovation, Laser, Rainer, and either Denver or Zanster is for me the top 4. I could see either of those guys doing it. Like Zanster, Denver's been doing so well lately. I could see him doing it, but I think Zanster's underrated because of how many good European Zergs there are.
I think I see either Inno or Rainer like top 2 for sure. I think Rainer's probably better like against everyone like in a whole as a whole. Innovation, I don't know. I think Innovation Rainer like matchup. I think Rainer probably has the advantage here. TVT, I would definitely give Innovation like the overwhelming advantage, but there's actually not that many Terrans here.
There's only 2 in the whole group.
So I would say Innovation, Rainer, interchangeable. The last 2 is kind of hard. I feel like Kellizer, if what he said, I think TVZ is probably he's okay with. So I still want to put a laser in third. I don't know why I didn't say that. But the 4th place position, Kellizer, Denver, Zanster, Creator. I think Creator probably has him. It's hard to say. It's really hard. It's Creator or Kellizer, I think.
Okay. I actually have a quote from Rainer as well.
Okay.
I didn't see it before. He said, "Feeling quite good. Toss Imba though. I'm kidding." He said, "I'm kidding." Smiley face. Okay. Then he said, "I think Cyclones are not great in TVC. Tempests are really good. Hydras are still the same. Carriers are bad versus Infestors." He basically gave only balanced feedback and he feels good. BCs are okay, but not great. And that's it, I think, he said. Cyclones are good, but not in fights. They are okay to harass and poke. Those are his gut reaction to the patch, I guess.
I love Rainer, man.
He's
that kid. I love his personality.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to put him at first of my list. Okay. Then I'm not sure if I believe in innovation at Home Story Cup.
No?
He has won Home Story Cup, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he doesn't drink at all. Okay. I'm gonna.
I've never seen him drink at a Home Story Cup, but I don't.
Yeah, then that's probably to his advantage. It's like not great at socializing, not drinking. Just sits down and wins. I'm actually gonna change my vote to innovation first in the group. Rainer gonna be second. I'm gonna go with creator third.
Okay.
And this is tough. This is the tough one. I mean, Elaser seems like a no-brainer. The guy's amazing, but it's Home Story Cup. I think he's gonna get trashed. I'm gonna go with Goblin just for the.
What is going on?
It's probably not gonna. I need to support this boy.
You sure you want to go with these predictions, Artosis?
I'm gonna go with this.
I'm good.
I'm at least picking him to be a dark horse to do to make some waves. You know.
I'd like to see him do well. Rotterdam's been talking him up too. So
you think Goblin's gonna outdo a laser in this group?
It comes down to the day. He's a pretty he's big on prospecting, like not planning stuff that much, which I love. It's how I operate. So I think if he has a good day and he's feeling good, then he can do really good.
Did you message a laser?
Yeah, I told you his quote. He said, if Protoss won't win this tournament, then they really need something special.
That'll be the last message you send after you.
Yeah, and Goblin is Protoss too, so there you go. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll win the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
What do you mean by prospecting? You said he doesn't like to overplan?
Oh, sure. Yeah, as far as tactics, I think the way I view it and like some personalities tests and things view it or separate the two in a range would be prospecting on one end and judging on the other, and judging just means like planning, and prospecting is more about adapting. So usually people have a preference. I am almost all prospecting. Like I never plan anything. I never did much studying of my opponents. I kind of just do random stuff and go with the flow.
A lot of pros build orders. Like I know that I've commented in GSO back.
I develop build orders, but they have to be like my own still kind of thing, like sort of born in improvisation and trying out things. But yeah, I mean, to be a decent player, you have to do a mix, right? So through iteration, through repetition, you can kind of fine tune build orders and stuff like that.
So you think that you like it because he's going to play reactively, basically, rather than have plans for everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to plan out when groups.
I think he had a better chance if he plans. Players. Well, if he had a smaller group, I guess you could say that. But
yeah.
If you come into it with a plan for specific people, I feel like this is the best.
Or even for matchups, right? People plan in terms of matchups. Like you have the TVC that you play, or the CVT that you play, right? Or the CVP style. Yeah, Goblin's just more random.
If you're Goblin and you have like these gotcha like strategies and stuff, like I think that's way more efficient or way more effective. if no one knows who you are yet. Like that stuff like catches people off guard, right? They expect you to play a certain way and you don't play that way. You can definitely take some people down. But we'll see what happens. Okay.
Let's move into Group C. We have Cyril, Sue, Trap, Bunny, Bly, Soul, Stefano, and Hellraiser. I think Cyril's going to get out of this group, guys.
Do you think so? I'm not sure about that one.
I think he can get out.
I think the year of Cyril's
first or second place.
He might be able to. So, yeah, I don't know what like quotes. I guess I have Bly. He said, "Balance is the only thing that might screw every Zerg." Okay, I know. Do you guys want me to keep reading these?
Yeah. I'm 100%. I want every single quote that you have read.
Okay.
They're amazing.
A jar labeled Zerg Tears because it'd be full right now.
Yeah, it seems like it. He says CBC became so much harder, which I'm not sure why is a sentence in there. That I feel even Cyril is gonna struggle against Protoss. I'm not sure how that. Okay, I think he means CVP became so much harder.
CVP,
not CVC. Yeah. Actually, seeing Trap in this group is what he's saying. So he's looking at Trap in this group to upset Cyril, I think is the implication. He says, "I want to see how right I am about the patch overall. I feel like Blizzard had to do two times more changes to change the game fully." I'm on board with that, by the way. And this one feels like a half step. Don't really change much in terms of unit comp. I kind of agree with the sentiments of Bly here. About expectations, this tournament is going to show how unprepared everybody is for the new patch.
Well, probably since it came out yesterday and the tournament starts today. Right. So yeah, people are not going to be 100% prepared.
I was kind of disappointed that they played the new patch, but they played the old maps. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Because everyone's like practicing the new patch. Like I watch streams of people practicing the new patch, but they're all playing on the old maps. It's like, why wouldn't, like, it would be so much better for them if they were playing the new maps as well.
Yeah.
For preparation, but it's whatever, I guess.
Okay. Then I have Soul's quote. And his quotes are always kind of weird. I always feel like he doesn't understand a lot of the questions I ask. And then he just says, like, he gives like, because a lot of it is balanced feedback and stuff in here. Anyway, the first one is, my expectation is Teja will come back and win, which is cool.
Okay.
He didn't pick himself. He picked Teja. Hope to gather some wisdom from innovation, he said. And himself, he just wants to own Cyril and Manor Mule.
I think he understood perfectly what you asked. That's the best answer yet.
Yes, it is great, but it's also like you expect Teja to win, but you expect also in that same universe to Manor Mule Cyril and not take the tournament yourself. It's yeah. I'm not sure. It's kind of all over the place with the expectations. Like he says, looking forward to be the champion at least at drinking competitions. Nothing more, nothing less. He said, didn't play more than 4 games on the balance patch yet, so don't bet on Soul if you're watching at home.
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb and saying he's not making out of this group.
Yeah, or beating Cyril and Manor Muling. That's probably never going to happen. But if it does, wow. You heard it here first.
I can't wait for him to start beating him, and we're like, where's that mule? Like, it's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah, I think it would. He says, I'm not sure if you consider it as a balance topic, but I think it's unfair when they usually create the... Oh, this is interesting. When they create the balance look to the balance look watching GSL with different rules than we do. And this is what I mean. Like, I'm not sure why he's answering this way. Map pool come to play the same rules as we have. The Terrans are getting owned as hard as we do. Yeah, so yeah, I can repeat that, but that's how it's written. So
no, you don't need to repeat that.
yeah, let's. Yeah,
it won't help us. It won't help us the second time.
Yeah, we'll skip that part.
I think he's complaining that Korea balances TVX by or Blizzard balances TVX by Korean standards.
Right.
That'd be like saying, "Oh, everyone plays like Maru. Let's balance the game around Maru or whatever."
I think what he's
trying to go with
it's more about the format, maybe, and maybe that Maru is winning as well. Everything, right? But maybe he feels, because some people feel like Zerg is better at, for example, like weekend tournaments compared to preparing tournaments, right? Like Zerg is an adaptive race, but if you have a really solid plan for Zerg, then you probably stand a better chance to beat them than not. So
yeah.
So I think that's where he's coming from, and he thinks that balance is done around the GSL format, and that's why Terran is weak outside of the GSL is maybe what he feels.
Because you have more time to prepare for each person.
Right, because Terran, because maybe he feels Terran isn't as good in those weekend tournaments.
Yeah. Well, that makes a little bit of sense when you think about it. Like as Terran, you don't actually play reactively. You're actually the aggressor in both matchups. So, I mean, that's kind of fair what he's saying, and that's always something that we've known, right? Like generally speaking, you're playing a very reactive game as Zerg, so those weekend tournaments you can just kind of come in with great mechanics and do very well.
Absolutely. It's just kind of a random separate discussion that, wasn't in the question post, but yeah, I think it's still interesting.
I feel like as a Terran player, though, you kind of need to know what your race is good and bad at, and just, you have to be the aggressor and stuff. But if you're really good mechanically, I don't think it changes much, to be honest. I think the Zerg player obviously does have the advantage of just playing their style, but at the same time, if you know a certain Zerg player is going to play a certain style, you can definitely abuse that as a Terran player. I think Maru doesn't give a fuck if he has a week to prepare or a day to prepare.
Yeah.
If he was playing at the global finals and they were TVZs back to back, I don't think we would have seen the same outcome we saw.
I know that's true.
Just
yeah.
prepared for Maru there. Like SOS looked good against Maru.
Yeah.
Which we knew was going to happen. We all knew it. All the people who actually understood the game were like, SOS has probably got a 50-50, if not an advantage percentage against Maru.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe 40%, 30%. Yeah.
No, but he destroyed Maru in some tournament recently too. Like it was not incredible to think it happened again.
Which I also called. I wish In Control was here to hear you say that, Jake, but he's not.
I mean, Sasha and I were in a hotel room and we're like, this is gonna happen 100%. Like,
no, you're lying. I was in the same room. You didn't say 100%. We were all believing in SOS. I bet on SOS. No one said 100%.
You did.
What? Yeah, Sasha never said anything without following it up with 100%. Okay, as far as I know.
We knew that it was a good chance.
A good chance. Yeah. I think we all agreed they had a good chance. Yeah.
So what's the argument here?
The argument is we didn't know 100%. We just thought SOS had a very.
We weren't eating any shoes.
We're not eating no shoes. Yeah.
We knew it was a pretty good chance for sure.
We knew it was a much better chance than the people thought. The people thought it was an upset. The conglomerate of a community.
Yeah. So
what are we talking about?
Now we're talking about SOS against Maru for some reason. Two of the only players not in home straight Group C. Do you have any other quotes here, Katz, from Group C players?
Yeah. Sue from the previous group just said he's not sure how he feels about the patch, so that was it for him. For
Group C.
Yeah. And
we're still Group C.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
We haven't predicted.
We haven't actually predicted anything for Group C.
Oh, okay. Let's predict them.
I think SOS will beat Maru in this group. Just saying.
I think SOS will beat Maru 100% in this group.
Yeah.
Actually.
I will eat a shoe if he doesn't beat Maru in this group.
Well, I'm definitely not betting on Soul. Blythe seemed kind of confident, but I'm not sure if confident enough. I'm gonna go for as they're laid out, Serral, Sue, Trap, and Bunny, I think. Or no, Serral, Sue, Trap, and Hellraiser.
Damn, Hellraiser sneaking by. It could occur. Like, I think Serral, Sue, Trap is like a really solid top pick here, and I think that Trap is gonna get top 2 specifically. Like, I can get a little bit more specific this group. I still think Trap is underrated. That guy is so strong.
He's great.
Yeah. For that other spot, I wish that Stefano was in a group with like only 2 Zergs or something instead of a group of 4 Zergs, because this is like the fucking entire story of his second coming of his career. Is like there's too many Zergs in Europe. You could really do well, but except for that, I don't know who that 4th is. I mean, I leave it kind of open. I kind of lean towards a Bunny, but I could see multiple things happening.
Yeah, any of them. The 4th is very open, I think.
Yeah, it feels that way. Your thoughts on regret on C?
I think just top 4 is probably statistically the most likely. Serral, Sue, Trap, Bunny.
Yeah.
Like possibly in this order even. I do think Trap probably is going to do better in this kind of format. Like there's a lot of people here. Trap plays like these build orders that are just really strong. Like he breaks out a build and it just kills you. Like that's the kind of play he plays. And when you're playing like multiple people over and over again, it's just really strong, I think, in general. But we'll see, I guess. I think these 4 are probably the best 4. Cyril, Suit, Trap Bunny.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Group D. For D, we have Solar, Lambo, Zest, Tasia, Mana, Petit Drogo, Clem, and Sort of.
Okay, I have some good quotes here, actually.
Excellent.
So Clem said, I think I would expect Showtime and Raynor to do well. And Cyril and all the Koreans, of course. For me, I think it's going to be hard to finish top 4, but maybe it's doable. Not much to say other than that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think Clem is really, really good. If I was him, I wouldn't sell myself short. I don't think he's someone who's really weak. I think he might be one of the best European Terrans right now.
It's a very stacked group, but yes, I agree.
But yeah, that's my opinion on Clem specifically.
I'm with you there. Lambo said, no real expectations. I didn't practice at all. Only played on stream. Appreciate it. I think this tournament is a great chance for the Protosses to shine. They got buffed in both matchups. Maybe it's time for Showtime Home Story Cup Championship.
Okay.
Consensus seems strong. This is by the way, it's like each asked privately. It's not like a room where everyone's just
all the Zergs are echoing.
That's not happening.
I do appreciate the renewed vigor after BlizzCon of all the Zergs whining about Protoss before the fucking patch has a game played. I love that everything is a buff to Protoss. There
was a lot of tweaks to Protoss towards the end, like where the patch notes released. Then there was like this episode of the Pylon where everyone was like, yeah, the Protoss is really weak. And then they tweaked it a little bit. Maybe,
I think after Montreal, it was all the Zerg players were like sitting in a room and they're like, how are we going to fuck Protoss this time?
And maybe that was it, yeah.
And we sat down and we're like, we're definitely not doing this. We're definitely not doing that. We're not taking the Hydra HP away. Fuck that. And then eventually, like, all of us sat down and we all left and we're like, yep, meeting adjourned. This is good for the rest of StarCraft. And then as soon as we left, all the protesters started whispering in the balance ears. They're like, hey, don't do that. Fuck that. We need time warp that slows down 50% attacks so we can fuck up spore crawlers and shit.
Oh my god. I can't wait to see if that actually is what every game looks like in that matchup. Or maybe just Hydra Ling Bane will kill every person.
I'm looking forward to a full 200 energy mothership float in, like time warp the ramp in the main and then recall an army into the main and just kill everything. Damn. And then peace out. Just walk out. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Son.
Maybe you're more informed on this, Jake. But yeah, sort of said right now I'm kind of out of it. Had minor surgery last week, so I only just got back to playing. My group is pretty tough as well, so I don't have too many expectations, but I could get through if I play well. So I think that's that last feeling sentiment as a player you just have to have, otherwise don't even play, right? But I think he's being fairly realistic. Do you know what surgery he had?
Yes, but can't really say.
Cool. Solar.
I think sort of is really good mechanically. He's like the macro god of Zerg, and I feel like this patch might actually hurt him more than some other Zergs specifically. But I would love to see him show up. I think he's extremely hardworking, and because he likes to play that late and like passive game. He likes to play that spore crawler game. He likes to pull it out.
But isn't a time warp just gonna fuck up his spores, and that's gonna?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why the patch hits him harder. I think.
Oh,
that's the way he likes to play.
Opposite. Okay.
But I think he could totally show up. I hope. Like I haven't seen him for a couple months. He hasn't been in Korea, and he's coming back in like early December. But we'll have to see. I think when he left, he was like 6'3", 6'4", which is pretty good actually. Like that's like. I'm trying to think of a European that comes in. Maybe Drogo's like 6'3", 6'2". So he's a little bit better, like ladder wise, but I don't know. I hope he shows up. He's one of my favorite people in StarCraft. So he's a nice guy, just a good guy.
Yeah. Now the best quote out of all I saved for last. It's from Petit Drogo.
No, here we go.
Yeah. So I'll repeat the question just one last time for, I guess, context for all of these answers have been to this question. I said, I'm going to be on the Pylon tomorrow. One of the bigger topics is a Home Story Cup preview. If you have any expectations for the tournament yourself, balance that you want to share, I'll try to bring it up briefly and organically. If not, good luck. Okay,
You've
so
been doing a great job with that, by the way.
thanks. But here's Strogo's quote answer to that. He said, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel really. I've been playing quite a bit, but the new patch is really, really wild. So who knows what will happen. I'm mainly curious to see what the difference it will be between what I see in practice and what it will actually be like. Try to bring up organically that I won 2 maps in a row against Cyril in practice, and that means I won 2-0 in a best of 3. It's science."
I watched them play like 30 games, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
it didn't go that well.
Like they played whole stream sessions of like just him and Drogo practicing.
Nice. That's amazing that it's a thing to brag about, just beating Cyril twice in a row. Like in practice, you know, when I was playing, there was no one like that. Like no one that you would just brag about openly. Yeah, in practice. Yeah. And now it's like justified. It's crazy.
It's a weird world we live in. I mean, he's not the esports player of the year, but he's pretty good.
But he is, right?
Yeah.
On that front, can we crown him Bondra? Is he the Bondra, Dan?
I don't think
That's a really good question, Katz. That's a really good question. If he wants to come and win the first GSL of the year,
that's what it takes.
Give him every title ever. I think we can probably still call him Bonjour because I was ready for Rogue and Maru because both of them had stretches. Mm-hmm. And the thing, it's such a funny thing, the Bonjour term, for anyone who's confused as what this is. There's like 5 or 6 people ever in StarCraft 1 that were so dominant that they're called Bonjour, which, what's it mean? It's like high-handed or something like that. It's like this funny term it's basically like this thing where it's like they are considered the ultimate best for this period of time. And actually, if you go back and look what people did to achieve this status, Rogue, Maru, and Cyril have all done things, had streaks as strong or stronger than what StarCraft 1 Bones was really had. StarCraft 1 tournaments didn't come as often as StarCraft 2, so it was a little bit...
That's the thing, yeah. So the periods of dominance are comparable, but there's a lot more tournaments crammed in. So the Bondros back then, I think, had fewer dents in their armor. Like Flash might get beat by Jaedong like here and there, but overall, like over a period of like 2 years, he wins like most of everything. And the weird thing with the Bondro thing is that we have 2 systems, so we can have kind of like 2 Bondro-ish, and then you know, BlizzCon kind of for me, BlizzCon was the determining factor, right? I would call Maru the Bondro if he had won that.
Yeah,
and Cyril the Bondro.
Bondro usually like a 1-year term though, because I feel like we look back.
No, it's just periods of dominance.
Yeah, it's just you don't even always have one. It's just like it comes up.
I feel like if we were like, hey,
like the first StarCraft 2 Bondro
this year, 100% Cyril. But if we look at Bondros within StarCraft 2,
I think Cyril might be the first Bondro in StarCraft 2.
I think the first person you could argue would have been Rogue at the end of last year through Katowice. That was the best streak anyone ever had of tournament wins. And then, of course, Maru and Cyril happened this year. So, like, Rogue is kind of overshadowed now, obviously.
Yeah,
Cyril is.
See Rogue and Maru match up very much either. Like, it does seem kind of anticlimactic that we were robbed of that by SOS, but
SOS. He's a thief.
After Blizzard rigged the brackets, according to Reddit. That was the nicest meme ever. How dare they seed the brackets? God damn it.
Yeah.
I want my brackets unseeded.
What were you want to finish that point though, Katz?
I forgot what it was. I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about Bonjours and
yes. So yeah, I think Cyril for sure has to be a Bondra, right? Like he won every WCS.
I think you can say it. I really do. Yeah. And I mean, this dominance, it's like, the thing is, it doesn't have all the Korean players in all the tournaments, but it has the best Korean players in 2 of the tournaments. So it's kind of like, I think you can do it. I'm pretty sure that we can call him that, because I was pretty sure we could call Maru it, and I was pretty sure we could call Rogue it. So I have to extend that over to Cyril and his victories.
Cool. Cyril bombed out like 5th place in this group. Would we still say it?
No. Then he would have been the Bondra for that period of time. But
it ends organically too. Like someone knocks you out of a tournament, and then you don't do well, and then it's like, okay, well, you were a Bondra for this period of time.
That's exciting then, that we've finally been able to crown somebody that.
Yeah, we needed to be Artosis that crowns it. There's no one else that can do it.
Well,
I don't think you
where
realize.
do we start? Did Rogue get it?
Him a
Did
trophy.
Maru get it? Did Cyril get it? Did all three
I
of them
think
get
Cyril
it?
gets it. No. I think Cyril is the only one to get it right now.
Well,
Cyril's
like
the only one?
Maru and Rogue, or Maru and Cyril.
But Rogue won BlizzCon. He won Super Tournament, Super Stacked, right? Shanghai, which was basically the same thing. And then he won BlizzCon, and then he won Katowice. That, is that not a good streak?
That's a pretty good streak.
That's a pretty fucking good streak, Cats.
I think we need to we need to really do some research, have some nerds do some research on this stuff, like, and really look at the paper.
We need to appoint a council of bonjours.
Yes.
7, 8 people, we all sit down in a meeting with our papers, and we like nominate a bonjour. We all sit down. We're like, do we have a consensus here?
Here's what we
bonjour consensus.
Here's how to actually figure it out. If someone wants to take this over, I will talk about it on the Pylon Show. If someone can gather this data, I'm too busy. I have all statistics. Here's the stats that we need. Okay, you go through time. You take Boxer, Nada, I Love Uve, Savior, Flash. Right, that's the full bonjour list.
Believe so.
Yes, that's the full bonjour list. Flash got it twice. Haha, crazy. So you take those ones and you find the period where they became the bonjour to the end of the bonjour, the tournament amounts, the amount of time in there, and how many tournaments they didn't win in there, right? And if we compare all those, I bet you that these 3 StarCraft players have hit that.
Like percentage. So we're looking for percentage thresholds, right? Like compared to like how much they win.
Who is the weakest bonjour in StarCraft 1? Because no one argues those bonjours in StarCraft 1. That is 100% a fact. Those are the guys that did it. There was no one else. You know, there were people coming close and it didn't work.
Out of curiosity, would we consider MVP a bonjour?
No.
Because I feel like MVP's reign was longer, no?
No, he didn't win every tournament. Like, he was a favorite and stuff, and he did really well, and he won a bunch that were close, but it wasn't like this uninterrupted dominance. That's what bonjour is, where you're just like, you can't take a map. You know, there's all these crazy records from StarCraft 1. It's like, what I Love Uve won like 27 TVCs in a row or something like that. Like, it was
Cyril won like 47 matches in a row or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, wait. So in 2011, he won 3 GSLs, an MLG, BlizzCon, WCG, GSL again, and
okay, someone can write down MVPs too, and we can take a look at it. But
so in 2011,
coming up back then, and we were kind of like, I don't know. You got to remember that in 2011, we were like Counter-Strike, where there was a tournament every weekend and stuff. So that can mess up judgments as well. But
yeah, percentages.
Sure. It's also been a really long time, so he could have lost like a ton of tournaments too. I don't know.
Yeah. So gather some statistics. The nerds need to.
We need these stats. It's important to know. We should carry over this rich heritage from StarCraft 1, because it's like a really fun thing to be like, yeah, we have this group of like 5 players that are the ultimate ever for their arrows, and that'd be cool if we could name just apply those rules to StarCraft 2 and figure out who it is. No one's opinion counts.
So we need a bonjour council.
Bonus, right? we need like all kinds of statistics, mainly like periods of dominance, probably by volume rather than periods of time, right? Like volume of tournaments, and then you get a percentage of how often they lose, and then you compare them. Then we go by the lowest to determine who in StarCraft.
There was some insane statistic for Cyril too, like he was 64-0 in matches or something. Not matches.
He was like 47 or 48. Yeah.
So like he didn't lose to 47 players in a row in tournaments, which is insane. Yeah,
absolutely insane.
I would agree. I think if me and Katz were chancellors here, I would definitely.
Yeah, no, I think that he probably gets it no matter what. I'm wondering more on Rogue Maru, right? Yeah. I feel like also, Rogue is actually more entitled to it than Maru, even maybe, but Maru's felt more dominating because GSL Codes such the kind of pinnacle of StarCraft for the year. So his felt more, but if you actually look at it on paper, Rogue's was better.
Well, another thing about Maru overlaps with Cyril's dominance period. So can there be 2 bonjours, you know?
Well,
because they live in 2 separate systems. Yeah. So this never happened in Brood War because we never had a foreign scene that could even come close to the Korean. So it's obvious that, but because they exist in 2 separate systems, and because GSL is stronger, right? But because Cyril has beaten the Koreans the 2 times that they
the global stuff.
Yeah, and Maru didn't. So the Maru case is kind of hard, but 3 GSLs in a row, man. That's
so home story cup group C, right?
No, we're on group D.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did our top 4.
None of those players that we're talking about. None of them.
Cyril.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. A Zerg is going to get out, and a Protoss, and a Terran. Okay, Group D. Let's reel it back in. Group D, Home Story Cup.
Yeah.
Who's getting out of this group? That's a really good group. That's a very exciting group.
Yeah, Solar said he has great big confidence, is what he said.
I think Solar 100%. I wouldn't eat a shoe though on Solar. I would eat a shoe on Rogue, but not on Solar.
Okay.
Okay, I think you're 100%. Like it doesn't mean what you think.
Okay. Okay. Rogue was 110%. Solar is 100%.
I love it.
Yep.
Your 100% don't mean what you think they mean. It's true. Because if it's actually 100%,
okay, there's two types of 100%. There's 100% where you'll eat a shoe, and there's 100% that you don't eat a shoe, but there's still 100%.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, they definitely
works.
don't mean what you think they mean, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So Solar 100%, but not shoe eating 100%.
Okay.
Lambo, probably. I think Clem probably over Tasia. This isn't in order. I'm just thinking out loud.
Wow.
I think Tasia's good, but I think Clem's really good too. And he's also like way underage, so he's probably not going to drink, and he'll probably be
this
clear
definitely
bad influences. Tasia, however, I've heard he's a party animal sometimes.
Really?
So, yeah.
He doesn't strike me as
Solar, probably Solar, Zest, Lambo, and Clem, I would say, are my top 4. I'm kind of sleeping on Drogo. Kind of sleeping on Mana.
I feel really good about Solar Lambo Zest. But I could see some upsets happening there, and like, especially if you look at the people in this group, this is upset city in this group, right?
Yeah.
Like we have some crazy things that can occur. Like games go right for sort of. Okay, well he out macros people and kills them, and like you look at Mana, I'm like, well, there is a huge range that Mana can finish at. He can finish last or he can finish first. You know, it's. And then, like, what type of form is Tasia Trillion? People have been talking about him a lot as well, similarly to Marine Lord, where there's a lot of hype around this return.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think, Cats?
I'm gonna remove Lambo from the list, which might seem crazy. I think right now, power level, he's very strong, like off of BlizzCon, but he said he hasn't played much, right? Like he gave us some insight into that. He hasn't really gotten into the new patch that much. He's a German at Home Story Cup, so everyone's gonna talk to him in German, give him beer. He's gonna, for me, probably not top 4, even though I think in most scenarios, and maybe a month from now, I would say yes for sure. I'm gonna go with Solar, Zest, Tasia, and Drogo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never feel confident in Drogo's PvT. Maybe this is something I'm holding over for the last couple of years, but like you put him against a Zerg, I'm like, okay, cool, this is going to be good. Protoss, okay, but I don't know. His PvT,
3 Zergs here, though. 3 Zergs.
Yeah.
3 Zergs. He's been training with Cyril. Yeah.
He took 2 maps in a row off Cyril,
yeah.
Which means he can take 2 maps in a row off any Zerg.
Yes.
Is it a best of 5? The groups? I think they are, right?
No, it's best of 3 in the groups.
Okay.
Best of 5s in these. Oh my God.
I remember they did this once. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. It is best of 3, right? I'm not crazy. I read that it was best of 3.
Probably if you read it.
Yeah, round robin, best of 3 matches.
Okay.
And then in the bracket, it goes to best of 5 with best of 7 finals. Okay, so we've gone over all the groups. What do you guys think in the end of the tournament is? What is give like your top 4 finishers, the winner, and then 3 people that should be about top 4.
I mean,
I feel like if my Protoss representation within this tournament feels lackluster compared to what we have in talents. Like Showtime's great, don't get me wrong, but we don't see stats and we don't see like any really dominant, like this is the best Protoss in the world. 100%.
Trap and Zest are both top 5 Protoss.
They're good, but I wouldn't say they're 100% shoe eating the best, you know?
Cool.
But probably 100%.
Maybe 100% without shoe eating.
100%.
So you mean classic and stats are missing from the list?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I want to say a Protoss would win this if we had like every player in the tournament, like everyone, all the best Terran, all the best Protoss, all the best Zergs. But without that, I feel like Serral is obviously a little scary. I don't see very many Protosses dethroning Serral. I don't think.
I'm gonna be honest. I really wanted to crown Serral. I really wanted to crown Serral here at the Bondra, get that over with, because I think this is it for him.
You don't think he's winning this?
I don't think he's winning this, which might be a crazy prediction. He's not winning this tournament.
Who's winning this tournament, Cats?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Who is killing Serral? Who specifically is going to eliminate him?
I don't know.
Because he has to lose twice. There's a bracket.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm looking at, I don't know. I really want to root for the foreigners to do well here. I always just do by default.
I kind of want to root for the Koreans now after a foreign BlizzCon champion.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I feel like the Koreans are now the new foreigners.
Yeah, it's like okay. They're the underdog. They're definitely not the underdog here, though.
I'm just kidding.
They're definitely not the underdog here. That's the problem. The foreigners are still the underdog. I'm gonna say top 4 is gonna be Showtime, Raynor, Serral, and Cest.
That's not a bad prediction. All right.
So you don't think Rogue's gonna show up at all in this tournament?
Rogue's good, man. I just have to. I mean,
he has to say something.
Yeah, I have to pick. I have to like. Can I not pick Raynor? I don't know. Raynor's so cool. Like he deserved to be at BlizzCon. I feel like he had the closest finals of anyone against Serral. Yeah. And I think the type of player that he is he's extremely adaptive. I think he'll do well in the new patch. I don't know.
Who's dethroning Serral then of that top 4?
I don't know, man. I don't know. One of them.
The way that you're predicting this, I feel like this is not a shoe eating 100%, just a probably.
Exactly. Yes. You guys are understanding it now.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to get it. So
this
probably
is like
100%.
100%. Serral's not going to win, but I would need a shoe.
No, I'm not saying that Serral's not going to win 100%.
Okay. It's okay.
Well, okay, Serral's 100% not going to win. I will not eat a shoe, though. It's not shoe eating 100%.
It's not a.
We call that probably 100%. 100% probably, something like that.
No, it's not shoe eating. Have you never?
It's not shoe eating. Shoe eating is 100%.
Shoe eating 100% is different 100%. Okay, listen, you just have to preface it. It's like greater infinity and lesser infinity. It's like shoe eating 100% and just regular 100% or probably 100%, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So Serral probably 100% isn't going to win the tournament. And
I wouldn't
probably
say that.
will die to someone between Raynor, Showtime, and Zest.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Only not.
I feel like he's picking Protosses because of all the.
I think so. Yeah, I'm biased for sure.
He's stretching for Protosses right now.
I think so. I mean, that's
if
how
it was
you
old patch. I would 100% Rogue.
What this show has been like, if you're betting,
100%,
if you're betting on Home Story Cup right at home. If you're betting at Home Story Cup at home, like you just got the scoop directly. That's like insider information almost. How the players feel going into this. Oh my god! Like a lot. Like
so TLDR, all the Zergs are whining before the patch is played. The Protosses think the patch is weird, which is fucking crazy that they're not complaining, right? So that's already Drogo is not complaining, and he talked about how
he's bragging.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
It seems like it seems like the sentiment is. But then again, a lot more Zergs answered than anything else.
Let's hear your prediction for first place then, because you don't want to say who's going to dethrone Serral.
Okay, I'll go with Showtime.
Showtime, straight up.
Is this a shoe eating Showtime?
No. It was never a shoe eating.
None of his are shoe eating. You're the only one eating shoes today, Norgret. You're the only one with that level of 100% certainty.
Yeah.
Yes, Rogue is not coming 5th in his group.
What? Rogue is not coming 5th. Yeah,
that was the only shoe eating thing I've said. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My top: Serral, Rogue, Elaser, Trap. Those are my top 4.
I like it.
And
so who's your first?
Well, I don't have a shoe eating first. Is the thing. I mean, I can see a lot of crazy things happening there. And I'm going to keep up this predicting a laser at the top of every tournament until I'm right. And I'll be like, I told you. Because I've been doing it for literally a year now. I don't know. Like, I feel like Serral's just going to win again. Yeah.
I mean, it's likely.
Yeah. Probably 100%.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not shooting 100%. Don't
No,
get
it's
He
not
excited.
said
shooting.
probably 100%.
I'm not eating any
Yeah.
shoes.
He said probably 100%, which means like, less than 100%. Right?
It means
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to eat a shoe over it, is basically.
My 100% shooting is above 100%. His is like below 100%, but
You
close.
can't actually have above 100%.
Don't worry about it. You'll understand it later
All right.
when you get older. You're like, oh, that's what he meant.
what is your top 4 here? No regret.
Okay, I think
You'll actually run into a situation where you'll be like, oh, that's what he meant.
Rogue. I think Rogue is definitely going to show up. I would predict. I think Rogue and Cyril are definitely top 4s in my opinion, depending on how the bracket forms.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they play against each other, obviously, one of them can't be top 4. That's just shooting 100% there. We'll see what happens with the rest. I want to say Trap over Zest if I had to pick a Protoss from Korea to be in the top 4. So Trap top 4, and then maybe Showtime too. So yeah, we'll go with that. Rogue,
Right.
Cyril, Showtime, Trap.
Rogue, Cyril, Showtime, Trap. So solid predictions. So everyone kind of feeling very strongly about the regulars and Showtime.
Yep.
I think it's good predictions. All right. I think that's going to wrap up our Home Story Cup chat. Of course, again, guys, it starts in like 8.5 hours or something like that. So make sure you're tuning in. You won't be able to miss it. It'll be everywhere on every StarCraft site. Check out twitch.tv/Take TV. We're going to jump real quick and just talk about KSL for a second and get into the viewer questions. And that'll do it. So KSL, the round of 16, we are finishing up this week, the group stage. We already have our group winners. Rain won his group, 6-1 map score. Mind won his 6-1 map score. Last won his 6-1 map score. And Larva won his 6-4 map score. So that is just it's literally the second and third best Terran in the world, the best Protoss in the world, and one of the top 3 Zergs in the world are the group winners for our StarCraft 1 KSL tournament. And actually tonight, Tasos is back in Korea from his vacation. We're going to have Light against Ware. Definitely very Light favored there, but should be a good one. And then we're going to have Sulky against Mini. And Sulky, of course, favored here as well. Sharp versus Jaehoon will be tomorrow, and Modesty versus Leda. That's kind of the hilarious match that we're going to have. Will be
Why is
tomorrow.
that? Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that? Let us in. Why is it hilarious?
Okay, so Leda and Mossy already played, and Leda goes 1 base Wraiths like every game.
Okay, cool.
And then he sits there forever after harassing you heavily, and his Wraith micro is out of this world. But then he does 1 attack, basically, and that's the game. The attack kills you or it doesn't kill you, and there you go.
Has he been doing this? Has he been doing this exact thing for like 18 years?
Yes, basically.
That's great.
And like when he beat JYJ in their TVT, he was just sitting there doing 1 base builds and stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, my starport's proxied," so he's like very, very cheesy and stuff,
Cool.
and that it's gonna be funny. And when you look at like the top 8, the way it's shaping up. These are not bad players by any means, Modesty and Leda. They're great players, but they are not the same level as some of these other guys that have gone up already. So it feels like whoever advances out of there, Rain or Mind or Larva might be pretty happy to get that player and possibly just move right into the round of 4 because it just seems like they're much stronger than them. So but it's going to be a good match. They are a good match against each other. They went 3-2 in their previous showing. So yeah,
Leda can do backflips too, right? I think he's one of the Koreans.
Once upon a time, I don't know if he still can. We're all a lot older cats.
This is true.
Maybe he still can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check out KSL tonight. Myself and Tasteless Casting. That'll be in 6 hours from now. We're going to start. Okay. Well, not a whole lot going on in StarCraft other than a couple of events right now. So I think we're ready for our Q&A.
I mean, like right now is like the period, that period where we're like nothing's going on.
I actually like it though. I feel like this time of the year I play more StarCraft than any other time of the year because there's like less casting to do. There's less tournaments to watch. So you just kind of, there's a new patch and stuff. You just kind of get to sit back and play some good old SC.
Except for the Lifeline tournament.
The Lifeline tournament.
That's fucking coming up, guys. We're doing it.
I can't wait for that.
It's happening.
I don't even care about BlizzCon anymore. I only want the Lifeline tournament.
All right, I'm gonna message you guys about what lifelines we have to do. I was thinking during the show we get like a bunch of cards, like 30, 40 cards of lifelines, and everyone picks 3. Right?
What?
No.
They have to have no. They all have to have the same lifelines.
That's too confusing. You're trying to make
No, because then you can be like, I activate my trap card, and then you show them. It's like now this player has to play with like only fucking like.
Okay, so this can be a second tournament where there's decks, right? We can also
the deck tournament,
a deck craft tournament, right? Where it's like you play these decks, and like before the thing, you're like playing your cards out, and you're like, you can't make Banelings this game, you know, like, and then they have to counter that with, well, you can't make Zealots this game, you know, and
this is gonna be great. All right, lifelines. Then
you can have like an Arkham mode add-on card, like I play with 2, you know.
All right, I'm messaging you later, Paulo. We'll get this sorted.
Okay,
I'm excited. All right, so we're on episode 29, right? Okay. Yes.
Correct.
Here we go. These are our priority Patreon questions. If you want your question answered 100%, then you go to patreon.com/the Pylon Show, and that's one of the tiers. Anyways, thank you to all these people in advance for asking questions. Let's go through them. From Still Knocked, what is the latest big scandal or news story in an area you are interested in that doesn't have to do with StarCraft?
There is a giant fire around here somewhere.
That would be interesting to you, I would say.
It's not, but I'm aware of it. That's how big the fire is. It's one of the biggest fires ever. I don't really watch news otherwise.
Okay. Yeah. How about you, No Regret? Do you have any news stories that you're interested in?
I don't think so. I don't. I feel like Trump is in the news all the time, but
I don't think you watch.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really watch any news at all, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, my area is like weird because I'm Korean and Canadian. Like I live in Korea, but I'm Canadian. Canada doesn't really have any news at all.
Yeah, no. When I go to my wife's parents' house and like I watch the morning news, it's like
it's fucking boring. It's really boring. There's nothing going on.
There's just really
even there's nothing. When you say there's nothing going on, you mean there's like no bad news all over the place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, well, I mean,
and then Canada is like the nicest people. You can leave your door open in Canada. Is this true, Jake?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is this true? Is your door open in Canada?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So maybe the news are evil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's not much going on in Canada. Let's be real.
Oh, okay. I'll go with that. For me, a news story, I just was reading a Korean newspaper the other day, and there is a guy in one of the smaller cities. He went through a McDonald's drive-thru. They got his order wrong. He cussed at the person in the window and threw the bag into her face. And now someone with a dash cam behind him was recording this. So he got, like, the police went and got his statement, and now McDonald's and the person who got the bag thrown at them are pressing charges.
So that was McDonald's doing.
Yeah, that is awesome. Right. That is great.
What is McDonald's taking this, by the way? I'm just curious. Huh? You're like, you threw our food. We're in this.
Well, you're
it's supporting their employees.
Employees.
Yeah, that's the stance.
You think about this employee. She's like, I think she was just like a college student or something, part-time job.
And no, I mean, I get the employees pressing charges.
It's all PR for McDonald's. Yeah, it's all the PR to stand for your employee, as opposed to not doing it, which would get you.
Absolutely. And if you're gonna throw your fucking bag at somebody because like they forgot your fries, it was literally he ordered like a set. Right, where you get fries and a drink, but they just gave him the burger or something, and that was enough to do that. Oh my god!
Maybe it's like the 5th time or something like that.
Yeah, maybe a big fine will help you to grow up in that situation. Anyways, that's my
that's interesting.
Okay, from Hyper Turtle. Last episode, you gave some examples of weird things you've been accused of by fans, like using the Pylon Show to shut down other podcasts. Have there been any fan accusations that were 100% accurate? Have you guys ever been accused by a fan about something and it was accurate?
See, accusations are always negative, right? I wanna say, I don't know. I wanna say it's unlikely that it hasn't happened, right? but I can't recall to any situation or scenario.
I can't 100% confirm or deny, but it sounds shoe-eatingly true that this should have happened.
To everyone, right? Like because I don't know, like accusations is based on a negative perception from someone, but it may not be from a different person. So if there's two people looking at you and one might think they're accusing you of something and the other one might think, okay, that might be true, but that's not really a negative thing. So I don't know, I guess the accusations going no less towards you, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so I guess like in Reddit threads occasionally I'll see people arguing, like there'll be some sort of news, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the funniest ones was like when Nick and I were casting World of Tanks in like 2014, and people were like, "Oh, see, well they work for GOM TV or Freak, whoever owned us at that time, and they're just making them do it. They don't want to do it." And everyone's just kind of agreeing with this. And then someone down in the thread was like, "Maybe they just wanted to do it or something." And I'm like, there you go. It's like, well, people come up with all these things that just aren't true. It's kind of funny.
Right.
So
I don't think I've had this happen either. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the question. We just, I guess, probably don't recall. From the wonderful Alessander at Artosis and at Cats, how much would you say your MMR or APM has gone up since you began drinking AFK tea? In Control No Regret, how much would you estimate your own MMR or APM has not advanced from not drinking AFK tea? Shameless plug. Thank you.
Well, I only played 3 games so far, so in this patch, and I've won 2 and lost 1. So I don't know if I would win all 3. I probably would have won all 3 if I had AFKT. I think that's where I'm supposed to go with this, right? Wink if I'm right. Somebody? Okay.
There we go.
Production's telling me I'm good.
All right. Definitely do like that AFKT stuff. Thank you for the question. From Sam Talik, I'd like to discuss Maru's 2018 proxy strategies a bit more. Was he using a gimmick that was eventually fully understood and countered? Or his teammates perhaps holding back on their knowledge of how to stop it until BlizzCon came around? What are your thoughts on the future of Terran proxy builds in the near future?
Well, I talked about this a little bit where I was praying to Jesus that we don't have proxy tech lab factory and then like them floating the racks around and using the lock on from the low ground and stuff. I really don't want to.
This morning, all 3 were that, by the way.
Yeah, I think every Terran probably right now thinks they're like a little mini genius. Like, I'm going to proxy a tech lab, float the racks around. This has been around forever and it's annoying. It's not fun. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I feel like that might be towards the future of proxies. I'm just hoping that it gets shut down every time and then people like, don't do this anymore. Let's play a normal game.
Yeah, the question is whether that is better or worse than the current proxy cyclones, right? In TVP. Well, and I think consensus is it's I feel you. I feel you. I'm working my way to it.
All right.
So yeah, but if it's worse, then we'll see some of that, but then it'll fade away. So if we're speculating about the future, it's only a matter of if for cyclones in particular, if it's better or worse for
yeah, PVT specifically.
Yeah. The rest of it, I'm not sure really. I think that the patch was aimed towards like addressing some of those concerns. So I'm sure hopefully we'll see less. And if Blizzard thinks that this is a thing that they want to see less of, then the future should be, as they want it to be to an extent.
And to jump on the other part of the question, no, I mean, I think everything when it starts, I don't think is fully understood and you gain understanding over time. And I don't think his teammates were holding anything back.
Definitely not.
It's just, it takes a little while to figure out how to do it. And SOS, you could see from Super Tournament number 2, from the very beginning against Keen, that SOS knew exactly how to play against that style of play. So it did get figured out. And he was, in my opinion, the leader of that. And that should trickle down. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of proxies, but it's always good to mix in proxies. You want to be able to mix in, but we might see it way withdraw as players learn from this and then come back into the fold as people forget a little bit of the sharpness of it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Shoe eating
100% on that one. Thank you, Sam Talek. From Fish, 2 questions, ? Okay, that's your first question. How do you handle burnout from playing so much StarCraft?
How did I? Yeah, I guess that's the Yeah, that's the real answer.
Yeah.
I think breaks are actually really healthy as a competitive player. Like, even if you think, oh, I'm taking a break, like this is going to put me behind other players, it isn't. Like,
No,
it
it's
actually,
true.
if you give time to reflect on your practice, you don't even have to play. You can watch replays, watch other people play. That doesn't burn you out usually. If you're like watching somebody else play, it's not as burning outy. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't really burn you out to watch other people in general. And
and you're still absorbing, right?
Yeah. So
Still
like just
thinking.
taking breaks, healthy breaks, this is better than just grinding the whole time, in my opinion.
I think an interesting aspect of StarCraft is, we talk a lot about people who are willing to put in the hours and practice every day, 12 hours or whatever the hell it is, whatever number we're throwing around right now. But if you truly want to be better, are you hardworking enough and willing enough to not play 12 hours a day and instead take care of yourself and make sure that your mindset is correct and that you're flushing your brain by thinking about other things and doing other things so that your subconscious has time to get everything in line and all these things. If you do all those things, then you're not going to suffer from the burnout. But I think a lot of people don't and just focus on playing and just think about it. And then you get into circles in your own mind.
And different people are so different as well, and how you handle things, like what you enjoy doing, like what processes in the game are attractive to you. For example, for me, a lot of it is figuring out new strategies or thinking about like how to counter stuff. Like a lot of the time that's like more theoretical than in practice, right? Whereas if you benefit more from copying a build from someone, which is a perfectly fine approach to take, and then you want to iterate and do things over and over so that you figure out all the smaller details, right? So it's also like what you want from the game, how you want to approach it, what interests you about the game that you should probably work around.
Mm-hmm.
He has a second question real quick. And who are the new up-and-comers for the next season of WCS? Personally, I'm looking at Cham, he says.
Oh.
Anyone that you guys really have an eye on for the next season that's not obvious, like a Rainer or a Clem?
Goblin. Got you. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, well, Rainer and Clem would be my so you just kind of robbed me of what I thought. I'm trying to think of people that have expressed interest to come in Korea, because I think those are probably the best.
Those are always the good picks. I was going to ask you if there's anyone new coming to the house, because anyone willing to do something like that, I think is
so. Actually, now that I think about it, Risky said he wants to come, and I think Risky could be someone who could get pretty good pretty quick. He's already pretty good already, but like not champion level. So I don't know, because I think the obvious ones are obvious for a reason. I think
how good is Risky right now? Because I feel like Risky has been around a while, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to bash on Risky.
Pretty high MMR.
Yeah, he's been good for a while.
Okay.
I think he's taking a more like gradual, like this kind of approach for like the last couple of years, whereas like someone like Rainer's just like whoosh, like straight up a brick wall, like 90 degree. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think. It's hard to predict, because I think the predictable ones are the ones we see already doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get good at StarCraft. We don't have many people that bust onto the scene.
Yeah, there's not very many that just like show up.
Yeah.
Well, it could happen with things like new patches or like in expansions, like Neep kind of exploded in Legacy of the Void out of nowhere, right? Like in Legacy of the Void,
he was around for a long time. The thing is, it takes a long time to build up your base skills, and you will start on tournaments before you can win them. No one will do otherwise, because you can't. So I feel like someone's going to know who it is when they come in. It comes truly out of nowhere.
I want it to be like DRG or somebody like that. Let's say I'm gonna go with that. That would be sick.
All right.
I want to come back. Yeah.
Thank you for the question. All right, from Manard. I'm 35 and grew up playing competitive Age of Empires 2 and Supreme Commander. As someone who was just slightly too old to catch the esports wave and chose bad games to ride, what little wave there was, I still dream of building the esports scene around StarCraft and working in the industry. I've been fortunate to have a good career success and want to bring my skills to the area that I'm passionate about. What is the best way to go about doing this?
Depends on what your career success is, I think.
No, that's a great point.
What you can, unless you're talking about like monetarily, like I don't know if you're like an amazing artist or something, and you want to like do graphics or something, like or if you're like an amazing production person, like our production guy, and you want to do that stuff, like there are ways to get into it.
Or if you have ideas like the Lifeline tournament.
Shh, that's my idea. Don't.
Oh, is it? Oh, he just stole it. He stole the complete idea.
This is my idea.
Okay, well, you can have
Cats,
it.
you're getting your
content.
royalties.
There's gonna be a VOD, but you can have the idea. It's fine.
You're saying this is your idea?
No, I'm saying it's a shared idea.
Okay, well, it's shared. I agree.
It started with ES Champ.
What was I
stealing it
saying?
from
No.
MLG.
ES Chan is not in this one. Okay.
There's a long list of
only
thievery here.
Yeah, we got to split our royalties 3 ways here maximum.
Yeah.
I think there's always something you can offer voluntarily, like volunteering within the esports scene. I think is always like welcomed, and there's always just room to do that kind of thing. It just depends on what you're good at and what you want to contribute.
And once you're around for a little bit and you actually build up some sort of resume, you can definitely kind of parlay that into future work within the industry. But yeah, I guess we don't know too much. Like if you could be a web programmer, we don't know. Maybe you build businesses, we don't know that either.
Just find what you're good at and volunteer that to someone you think that could use it. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, you almost have to start a little bit small, because there's like 2 ways I feel like to do esports. There's called the right way and the way that most people do it. So the way that most people do it is they just pretend that they know esports, and then they like try to trick people that are like, oh, esports is getting big, and then they get money through that way, right? That's a lot going on right now. Or you can slowly but surely build yourself up with experience and actually knowing people, and I like that.
Yeah, making connections. It's
connections. Yeah.
Thanks for the question. From I am Monkey 66. How do you produce mana? Is it mana or mana?
Mana.
I always pronounced it mana my whole life, but then I started going to like Magic tournaments, and almost everyone's saying mana. So I
say mana.
Maybe I say mana actually.
I say mana.
Mana.
I think you can say it both ways.
Mana.
All right. Thank you for the question.
Banana?
From Mr. XAK.
Man A.
Man A. Like, oh, cool ID, bro. Where's Man B? Wow, I like that a lot, actually. From Mr. XAK. Is there a particular pro player in the Brood War or SC2 scenes, now or in the past, that you've always felt a strong affinity for based on their playstyle, personality, or something else other than performance? Don't pick somebody just because they're really good at the game. Who is your favorite player of all time that doesn't necessarily have a lot of tournament trophies? Please explain why.
Wow. I like people too much for this question. It's impossible to answer, I think. I'm going to have to go with Ruby just because it's El Clásico. Okay. Right? Like I started my team with Ruby. We were 2v2 partners. So yeah, he has to be my default.
All right. You have anyone to regret?
Scarlet. But these are also like, it's biased for me too. I think she's extremely intelligent when it comes to the game, like strategically. I think she's open to ideas when, like, obviously I've given her ideas and she, takes them and runs with them kind of. And I think she adapts well from person to person. I think overall she's, potentially could be the best player in the world if she had more, I don't know, like the ability to practice longer. Yeah. The drive to actually be the best maybe. And then, yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Fair answers. For me, I think it's probably the third Bonjour of Brood War, I Love Uv. He played a very different style, and he was a very arrogant player to the point where teams wouldn't recruit him, even though he was better than everyone for a while. So there's just like a lot about his personality, how cool he was and how cool he played, that he was just always my favorite Brood War player. He was just super, super cool.
Yeah, I have too many picks, but none in like if we're talking about like game style in particular, I've been a huge fan of Raynor's play style for a while. I think he might be my favorite player in recent history, just to watch, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he is fun to watch. Okay, thank you for the question from Melty. Why did Queens stop flying?
Why?
That feels like a Blizzard question.
Because you wouldn't be able to inject the hatcheries, right? Like that's probably.
You could just like come down.
Oh, I thought it was a joke. I thought there was like, why did Queen stop flying?
It's definitely a joke, but it doesn't have a punchline.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame. Like why did the Colossus fall type thing?
Because it was imbalanced.
Right.
Because it only had 3 legs. It's so much harder to walk with 3 than 4. Okay. From some drunk Canadian. Jeff and Pig recently have gone on rants about how we all suck at this game except for the top tier, that rank doesn't mean anything, And once you accept that, you can actually learn to improve at the game and not get so tilted. Do you feel like this mentality is a reason for the perceived lack of personality amongst SC2 pro gamers?
Lack of personality because of rank game?
What?
No.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure. I'm
the
not sure how
question
that
is,
connects.
right. Basically, he's talking about the idea that everyone sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And so you shouldn't get tilted. So you can just kind of learn from your games once you realize that everyone is really, truly bad except the very top. Do you think that this type of mentality is why there's a perceived lack of personality amongst SC2 pro gamers? I kind of have a response to it where, so for instance, I think that there are a few players that probably kind of realize this, like a Cyril or a Neeb or something, where you don't see them talk too much shit. They don't exude a huge amount of personality during interviews and stuff. They're just kind of, they seem level-headed, at least to us, just watching what is put out publicly. Whereas I think that actually most people don't realize this and don't think this. And so we see a lot of more of the trash talk and stuff and hurt egos and things like that.
I don't think it's mutually exclusive, like that if you have a personality that is like, oh, I'm not that good or whatever, or I'm not that, like, I don't think that makes you better, or it impacts you in any way that improves your play. I think Rainer is very confident and not necessarily like I think if Rainer was Cyril, I don't think he'd be doing the same thing. I think he'd be very confident and he'd be like, you know, I'm very, very confident I'll win this tournament, or I'm very confident I'll do this or that, right? Where we don't really see Cyril ever make a statement like that. I don't think that is any like indication that he's going to be better than other players. And for example, Dark is really good, and he's so confident in himself where he'll just predict himself to win everything, even if he isn't. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think it just, our personality is, our really good players happen to be pretty young right now, like in the foreign scene, and they are all just seem very, you know, not I don't know how to explain it. Yeah,
if I had to guess at things, and this is all conjecture, obviously, but for the most part, I think that gamers and gamers that succeed are going to be, for starters, for example, introverted rather than extroverted. Right? They're going to be less sociable, which is part of why they're playing computer games in the first place, to an extent, right? If you are very sociable and you want to go and hang out with your friends every weekend, then you're probably not going to be as good as the guy that doesn't and plays games on his computer every weekend, right? So I think that some of these are traits of personality that just go well with developing a career as a successful gamer. So introspection, for example, or being introverted, for example, over being extroverted, probably being intuitive is better than being like about your senses with gaming. But there's games that are really good at favoring people who prefers sensing. And a lot of this is like from the personality types and tests that I like, that kind of give you a range, or put things in a range of opposites almost, where you kind of draw from either or. And usually that is in these tests, it would be like intuition versus sensing, right? Which is different approaches. One would be
Myers-Briggs type of thing.
The Myers-Briggs type of thing. And, you know, sensing is more about just like doing things actively, like experimenting. Like, for example, in Counter-Strike, like reaction time, for example, is probably big on sensing over intuition, where you might want to develop ideas of what's going to be happening in a game, like predicting outcomes and stuff like that. Probably more prevalent in StarCraft or in Hearthstone, right? In games like that. We talked about like judging versus planning earlier, that I think both of those are important in StarCraft. So a balance of the two is probably ideal. But my point is that you kind of, if you look at all these traits and you think of like, what's the best player that we can build out of these traits, it kind of gives you an average player that's maybe not the most, you know, outgoing, whereas Counter-Strike players are more outgoing. If you notice, like they're a little bit, you know, because the teamwork aspect is more important too. Like they're a little bit more excitable, it seems, right? So I think it just depends on.
It's more important, right?
Yeah, and also they're more sensing about the moment, that, you know, reaction times and whatnot. Sure. So I don't know. I just feel like different areas will give you different people that excel at those areas, and we're just in a very mental area.
I mean, there's a lot of like studies and stuff about or people's like hypothesis is about if your personality influences your playstyle too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a lot of interesting things or information about this, but it's not really well understood. I certainly don't think someone who like it's necessity to being good. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think Katz is right that
I
it
agree with
definitely
Katz,
it draws a certain type of person on average more.
Mhm.
It's not like a rule by any means, but
Right, there's
certainly
outliers all over the place right now.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you for the question. Now, from Phoenix, question: hey guys, do you have any information related to I Am Katowice? I really want to go, but so far I didn't see anything announced. No, we have no information as of yet. We'll talk about it on the Pylon Show as soon as we do. From Banjo Republic, StarCraft is canceled for Katowice. No,
I think that's just a response.
I don't think so. I mean, okay. From Banjo Republic, question: lately, you guys have discussed personalization of the game, different skins, and so forth. What are your thoughts on more personalized profiles to be able to upload your own avatars, personalized color schemes, symbols, sprays, and such? Is it something Blizzard should explore in SC2?
What?
More personalized. Like, do you think?
I don't think. I do not think anyone should be able to upload their own avatars. I don't. That's and it's like whoa, you know, like you can upload anything. There's too much moderation. There's gonna be like, they're shutting down my free speech if I'm not allowed to upload things. Like it's just like not worth what we're offering here. And we kind of already have that to some extent. Like you can upload your own clan pictures and have that. Like that's good enough. We don't need to go all crazy. Yeah. I think they're doing good already exploring what they're exploring with their personalization. Like we're getting way more than we've ever
I'm excited for building skins. That's going to be really funny.
The building skins look so sick for Zerg too. I'm so excited.
Yeah. You guys are super lucky. You guys have been killing the skins lately.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you deserve after all those fucking extra spikes.
Yeah, the specs were terrible. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the question from Mr. XAK again. So do they have turkeys in South Korea? Yes, but very few. I think I talked about this earlier on the show.
You did.
What's an American living Korean eat on Thanksgiving? Whatever they want, but only turkey if they can get one. It's hard.
They're really guilting you, huh?
At some point in the year. Happy Thanksgiving to any Americans on the show and those watching. Yes, there is like a Korean Thanksgiving called Chuseok. It's kind of like Thanksgiving and Christmas rolled into one. It's their biggest holiday.
Like 100% Chuseok or
Chuseok?
100% shoe eating Chuseok. It is like you go and visit your ancestors and you visit your elders and stuff, and it's kind of like Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like the really important holiday out here. There's like a week where the city is a little bit dead because everyone's doing it. All right, thank you for that question. From Markand, with the notable exception of Sarah winning BlizzCon, what was your favorite moment of Foreigner versus Korean? For me, it has to be QXC all-killing Incredible Miracle. What do you guys, other than Sarah, what are you thinking?
Mine was Rainer versus Classic in GSL.
Oh, that was great, yeah.
Because that was like the moment where we're like, this kid's going places. Like we all knew, but this was like, okay, he could be like the next biggest, like best foreigner. Also, it was just so incredible. Like the games were insane. Like watching the end of that game where there's like one Broodlord and like a Queen and a Hydra, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a really random, crazy end composition. It was so climactic. The crowd was electrifying. I was there. Everyone was freaking out. It was great. I was a part of that. So
yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna piggyback on that then, because I really like that moment too, and I think it's a really important defining moment along Searle winning for like the WCS system as a whole, because the WCS there's region lock, right, and that means that the amount of prestige in either league is determined by the people in those leagues until they interact, right? So Korea is so much stronger than WCS perception-wise, and Raynor going in and stealing a little bit of that from Classic makes him a contender that people can beat in the WCS and get prestige from. And that's why I like Searle winning BlizzCon. Like before Searle won BlizzCon, I might have been in favor of like softer region lock just to make it so that foreigners can steal some prestige from Koreans, because a lot of you needed last year. You needed to beat a Korean for validation. Like, you're not good unless you beat a Korean, and Raynor Classic was a very important moment in that. Yeah, because Classic was like the best Protoss at the time, right?
Yeah, and also the way the games went down too. Like, even if it was just a statistic, oh, he won this in this way, like a 2-0 or whatever, that doesn't really put into words the actual series was just so insane, right?
The two series, right? They played 2 series, I think. They were in the same group, right?
Yeah, I think it was the deciding one that was the insane one.
Raynor lost the first one, then won the deciding. It was great. Yeah.
That was another too. Like, there was a big storyline there too, because he's coming down from like the lower bracket. It was just incredible.
That was pretty fantastic. I do want to mention something further back in time for me that I really enjoyed. I had to type in a Wikipedia real quick to get my thoughts straight on it, but NASL Season 1, I really loved watching Sen's run through the bracket, and it wasn't a particular match, but like, he went 2-3 against MC in the top 4 and then beat July in the 3rd place match and stuff like that. And I was always pumped anytime that Sen went up against the Korean players.
That's probably because you from Brood War too, right? Like, Sen was our one of our last beacons of hope. Sen, I guess, until we got like Cyril and stuff, but Sen was probably the GOAT foreigner realistically until just recently. The GOAT non-Korean, because he was like I think there's some crazy stat about Sen where I think for like 10 years across StarCraft 1 and 2, he was the highest finishing non-Korean in every single event he played in. That's crazy, really.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Maybe you could find one exception, but like, whether it be WCG or a big event, wherever, it's just like, it was always Sen. He's just always like, he won that big tournament in Taiwan. It was like the first time a non-Korean won a big event full of Koreans. No one probably remembers that, but the Taiwan Open 2014 or something like that. Anyways, Sen. Sen, amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
Loved watching him all the time.
Chad. What's his name? Chad. I don't. I'm not gonna.
Chen.
Chad Chen.
Cha Chen, or something like that. Yeah. But definitely look him up. Okay, thank you for that question from Gloop Glorp. What would Cyril have to do this year for you to consider 2019 a greater success for him than 2018? I think he has to win BlizzCon again. Obviously, that's the main one.
Yeah.
But let's say that he takes down 2 GSLs.
Sure, yeah. That would do it.
2 GSLs or WESG, as well as all his current results.
Well, here's the thing. WESG is great, and I like catching it and all this, but it doesn't have the prestige of these.
It does not, yeah. It has to be WCS. It has to be like...
I don't care about the money.
BlizzCon,
if I care about the money, I'd be a Dota caster, bro. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I think at least 1 GSL and some other tournaments, but he obviously has to have the same achievements as he had this year, which is just
I think he could win 2 or 3 WCS and win 2 GSL Code S.
That would be better.
And BlizzCon, and it's better than 2000.
Yeah, and then we're talking about region locking Finland, and we're talking about maybe giving him a 75% handicap. Oh yeah, that would be crazy if he actually did that. There would definitely be reforms in region locking. I think we'd probably get cut. If Cyril came over, won 2 GSLs, flew back, won 3 WCSs, won BlizzCon, I think we'd probably have talks about region lock.
Maybe not, because like he would generate so much attention for the game anyway.
Yeah.
So we're just like, fuck Korea, it's fine.
Fuck everyone. Yeah, Cyril bring everyone.
Fuck everyone. Cyril's good.
Cyril's good.
Indeed. Okay. Thank you for the question, Gloop Glorp. From Broodweiser, are you casting KSL this Monday? Happy Thanksgiving. No, because KSL is on Thursday and Friday. I will be casting on those days. From Alessander to all 3 of us. How did you meet, and do you have any fun stories to tell? Met Katz on BattleNet 100,000 years ago in StarCraft 1. He used to be a Ling Rusher for the most part. That's how I
wouldn't remember.
I don't know. I've hung out with both these guys too many times.
I feel like Katz and I have like we knew of each other for a very long time, casual conversations, but like this BlizzCon, like we actually
We hit it
deeper
off.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched a lot
like
of Key and Peele.
he stayed with me. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And then like we watched Key and Peele at nights, you know, like we spent a lot of time together. It was fun.
Yeah, we have a similar sense of humor. We had a great time, I think.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. For No Regret, I met you just a little after you came to Korea. You came to the studio with Sasha, I think. So I met you. Every now and then, No Regret comes to my house that's really far away from his, so thank you. And sometimes we watch StarCraft together, and we just talk about StarCraft and nerd out for hours. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
Artosis and I are actually, I'm sorry, No Regret, but you're not in this, but we are 2/3 of the quintessential hipster trio as well. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
There was a bomb in San Francisco that I was walking with I was walking with Dan and Nick to grab a beer, and then there's this like drug addict bum that pops out of nowhere, and he's like, well look, if it isn't the quintessential hipster trio. It's like random as shit. And he knew the word quintessential. I was like, what's quintessential, Nick? He was like, oh, quintessential. Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Thank you for the question. From Ball Savage, we only got 3 more questions here. Love you guys. Hoping one of you has a background in medicine. Okay, we're going to skip that one. Thank you, Ball Savage, for being a Patreon supporter. Okay, from E-Mini. On a scale from kind of 100% to shoe eating 100%, what are the chances we have Roddy take off his shirt at HSC? I would say 0%.
I do not think it's a shoe eating 100%.
I mean, he promised it. This is the second promise, right? It's definitely not a shoe eating 100%.
Second promise. That's the thing.
It's definitely not. So that question that someone asked earlier, like for Roddy, this would be that instance. The question that was like, did you ever get called out for something or something like that, right? Like that you were guilty of. Yeah. I'm gonna say 10%.
Less than 100%.
Less than 10? Less than 10%?
Less than 100%.
For sure, less than 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shoe eating less than 100%.
Oh, for certain. For certain.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, E-Mini. From Somnium, last question here. Somnium_SN. How do people, particularly the professionals, casters, and players in the scene, feel about the time after their career? Is this discussed between players? Are they anxious about the future?
This is an interesting question for me because I actually kind of feel like I'm in this boat right now where I'm like I'm thinking about transitioning. I'm not really playing as much. I'm doing more what I want to do, what the community wants me to do. And I feel very hopeful and very ambitious towards the future. But again, I don't know where we're going and what we're doing, but I feel like the ride itself is enough for me to be excited about it. You know what I mean? And I don't think very many players talk about this. I feel like I'm a little bit in a special situation because I more have to think about it right now. Like I'm not the best player. I'm on the other side of the world. I have a certain amount of income. A lot of people here are like dependent on me, kind of like we're living here. Like this is like basically my thing. So for me, this is like a very important thing for me to figure out. But I think the route I'm going with content creation, with the running the house, I feel like this stuff is way better for the scene, way better for our game than for me to be a memer playing, 13-12s on the ladder or whatever, right? So I'm very happy with where I'm going, and I'm very happy and ambitious towards where we're going.
Yeah, I'd say you're doing good, right? So that's good. For me, I stopped being a player at some point, but it was really organic because I was always like, I never practiced outside of streaming, for example, and I always streamed with like commentary or singing and stuff like that, which means I never was a great player, and I never depended on being a great player.
You took maps off of everyone in that WESG, man.
I did take maps off of Neeb, Scarlet, and Kellasur without practice in the last tournament I played.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I was always like, I kind of approach life similar to the game, where I'm just kind of looking for what comes and taking the path that seems most fun or enticing to me. I think I have ADD. I'm not diagnosed, but I've read and watched a lot of videos and like identify with most of everything. And a lot of those struggles I'm trying to compensate for with, like, for example, this cube that I showed earlier. And hopefully I can be a little bit more organized. But generally speaking, I've always been kind of like just doing whatever I like all over the place, and it's always worked out for me.
This question also, I want to say some things I've heard about other people as well. Some general trends, like for instance, Korean military service has always been a big hindrance to Koreans. So they always are a little bit nervous and want to get things done in their career before they go. More recently, especially, and I think because of specifically the dissolution of the KESPA teams and the team house environment, we have more and more players coming back. So their careers aren't necessarily ending at that point. So that's kind of an interesting new development for Korean players. And we'll see if that is something that continues onwards. Because when there were KESPA teams, literally no one ever came back successfully, ever. Not even one time. We had a few people try. It was not even close. But yeah, now that those are gone,
well, there's also the nature of the game changes in that StarCraft 2 changes, whereas Brood War didn't change. So if you're lagging 2 years behind from the military, you have a lot to catch up on. But here, for example, this patch kind of resets things. So it's more forgiving to people coming back.
I actually think, I think this is actually more forgiving than Brood War and other games, because you mechanically can come back. It takes a while, but when the games are shifting and the game is becoming new every year or whatever, like big meta shifts, everyone is set back to zero kind of thing, and we're all back on the climb, right?
Everyone's kind of everyone's mechanics even are reset to a degree, right? Cyril's still going to be amazing at doing like a lot of things, but he has to figure out.
Cyclone mechanics are completely different now. Nobody's good against like a specific advantage for Cyclone mechanics. They're just totally different.
And everyone that builds Cyclones has to build it into their build order, which means you have to think about it, which takes us space and time, right? So you can't just do it. The more you play something, the more like automatic thinking that just you just do, right? You don't think about making drones, you just press SD, right? So that's for pretty much everyone that plays StarCraft. You know what the key is, you press it, right?
But I'm hoping that more, because we're seeing Koreans come back from military and be actually like okay, like they're not amazing. We're not looking at them winning GSL, but Fantasy beating SOS Sioux Classic after coming back from the military is incredible. And if we see more results like this, if we see Fantasy qualifying for GSL constantly, getting top 16, whatever, I hope that this inspires more Koreans after BlizzCon or after their military to come back. I think if we have more success stories, it's less of like a mountain to climb. You're the only guy. You're like, oh, what's the point? I'm gonna go do this thing or whatever. And
at the same time, people are getting older too. Yeah, it's
sure, that's true. But I mean, like a lot of these guys are pretty young. Taja's not too old to be a pro gamer, right? Like I think even Taja's probably younger than some people that haven't gone to the military yet, like Classic. So yeah, it's interesting to see people like Taja. If they come back and they're dominant again, they don't actually have to worry about their military ever. They could be at a huge advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, another thing, the anxiety that some people might feel and stuff too, I think a lot of that's cultural. Because this is just something interesting, because again, I've been playing for 20 years, and in general, I hear a lot more statements of anxiety about the future from people that are European than from North Americans regarding their careers. All the time throughout so many years, I've heard so many people like talk about, oh God, you know, I can't keep playing this. My studies, I got to go study. It'd be something like we saw Cyril even mention in like his signature series. He's like, I think eventually I'll have to stop this and go and follow my brother's footsteps and do school. And it's like, well, how much money have you won this year? And you're the greatest ever. And esports is only getting bigger. No, actually, Cyril, you don't, but that's okay. You do whatever you do you and be happy about it. But it's definitely something that I've noticed that I see more Europeans.
I think it's realistic, especially for people that like planning down the line to kind of just try to see the horizon of where they see themselves, right? Because it is true that a lot of skill sets are just not going to transfer over. Like I think a lot of it does transfer over to life, though. Like kind of like for example, philosophy majors tend to do well once they get hired, right? There's no real like, oh, we're hiring philosophy majors, but once they get into somewhere, they know, or they study logic, they appreciate it, they know how things, you know, work in a logical order or sense, so they tend to advance pretty quick. I think it's similar. It's going to be a similar process for most StarCraft 2 pro gamers, right? Like the game does teach you a lot of skills that are transferable.
I agree.
Maynard says in the chat he actually asked Cyril about this specifically, and he said he doesn't intend to stop for many years. I assume that as well. For me personally, I look at this as a lifelong career. I don't have other skills, so I'm gonna keep going. Yeah.
I mean,
okay,
I don't see any reason to stopping, right? Like the way we're headed with esports and the growth potential and everything we're building towards is just up and up and up. Like it just keeps going up. So I think that there's always a space for people that want to continue esports.
All right. Well, we have one final thing here with the Discord questions. I think Cobra is going to jump on and talk to people about linking a Patreon and Discord account so you can ask questions as well, because this is coming up a lot.
Thank you. Every week we have people in Twitch chat, on Patreon posts, and our YouTube comments asking how they link their Discord and Patreon accounts so they get to submit questions for the hosts and guests each week. We've made this as easy as possible. You just join our Pylon Discord server. The link can be found everywhere, including our website. And in the welcome channel, which is the first channel you should see, there's 3 easy steps. You just click them. They all have the links together. You can just go through there. It's 1, 2, 3 easy. After this is done, within 24 hours, the Patreon questions channel should show up, and then you can post it there. Here's currently a list of our supporters this month. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you so much, Cobra, the man behind the scenes, making sure that these shows actually get made and uploaded everywhere. Would not work without him. Well, I think that about brings us to the end. I want to thank you guys for coming on. This was a wonderful discussion. Had a lot of fun, especially all of our weird off-topic talking about Bonjoas and Maru and players that aren't in Home Story Cup segment. But
Story Cup.
Yeah. Oh God, we have another $100 tier. Thank you so much, Maynard, for joining Emery Toss up there. But yeah, guys, let's see what you guys are doing first, and then I'll give one final plug to our sponsors. Cats, what do you have in the pipeline? How can people connect with you, etc.?
So I've been doing the breakdown. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks, waiting for this patch really to hit, and because otherwise I felt like doing breakdown on the past patch wouldn't be good content for people to watch and learn from, specifically. So Root Gaming recently released our website, our new website. That's rootforroot.com. So go check it out. There's a few articles there. Some pretty good, all pretty good, I think. And follow me on Twitter @rootcats and on my stream, twitch.tv/rootcats.
Cool. And of course, Greg, what are you up to?
So I've got a pretty big month planned for content that I haven't released yet, but I'm planning to do Anonymous 3 times in December on the weekends, and then Memes and Dreams on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Also, I'm going to fit in the Lifeline tournament. It's in the works. It's planned. We're planning it right now. I've got people on my side working it out right now. Okay. So Lifeline tournament. It's going to come
have
up.
people working it out. You literally have been talking to us.
We've got it in the works. Okay. I've already got
100% shooting.
Yes. This is 100% shooting going to happen.
Okay.
And yeah. You can follow me on Twitter @OnFireNorgrid, I guess.
Perfect. All right. And as for me, I just want to talk about the Pylon Show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And a big cheers to matcherino.com/Pylon Show. Matcherino has been a huge supporter of the Pylon Show and continues to do so. So thank you to them. You can check it out for all sorts of Pylon merch and type in the code TURKEY this week to just add stuff to it. Matcherino does a great job. So thank you to them. We also have, of course, AFKT. I drink AFKT. I finished it during this show. You see my tea leaves? I'm not joking here.
You need to get one of those things. I really want them to get the noob ones. Yeah. I've told and make a pro and a noob product. Do it. I want to buy more, but I'm so bad with the leaves, man. I have to get one of those strainers.
Yeah, and the strainer, the thing is, it's really not hard. It takes like 2 seconds. I have a little measuring spoon that's exactly the size for 1 cup that I keep right next to my tea bags. And then I just scoop, I put them in, pull it out, and put it in. See, I keep a children's plastic IKEA bowl that I just dump it into. and then I rinse it for my next cup. It's super quick. You can actually brew twice per thing on most of the teas. So anyways, check out afkt.com. I definitely do like their tea. Yes, indeed. And of course, Patreon. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/The Pylon Show. Thank you to all of our supporters there. The VOD, of course, will be up on my YouTube, youtube.com/ArtosisTV, very shortly thereafter the show. And you can check it out. We have it in podcast forms and all that. So thanks, guys, for watching. And make sure you tune into Home Story Cup tonight, where you get to see the other half of the Pylon Show in control, casting his favorite event. We'll see you next time.
I love you. Bye.